Man, everyone's last minute, huh?
I was like, what?
Wow. Where'd these people show it from?
Buck showed up like 20 seconds and
My
Mr.
God.
Strange like 10 seconds. I was like, these guys.
Sliding
Always
in
on,
the
always on time.
sliding in the door like Indiana Jones. Just sliding.
What's up,
No, it's
guys?
all good.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
What's up with the tape, Buck? Are you
He's in a cage.
I need it
okay?
because I have like a bandage on the back of my head, and this helps secure it.
Oh,
Oh
Oh,
wow.
wow, okay. You doing okay though?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
You good? That's good. Well, yeah, man. What's how's everyone doing this Mother's Day weekend? It's crazy. Like all the flower places were packed. Like everyone's last minute shopping. I was like, like, everyone knows when it is. Like, why
Yeah.
do you guys wait till last minute?
Yeah. No, it's horrible. I'm lucky enough to have a low maintenance lady. She's very low maintenance. When it's holidays like this, we have an agreement that we'll always celebrate it on our own day to avoid all the bullshit. Get into any restaurant we want because we always agree it's not about the day on the calendar. It's about spending the day together.
Yeah,
So,
Yeah.
so
Oh yeah,
we got that done already. So we're good.
that's blessed.
yeah.
Apparently,
Like,
Pudge is the best of all of us.
yeah. You guys want me to kick him out? What?
It makes everybody else look bad. Stop.
Oh no, it's not me. It's her. That's the it's her. She makes it easy.
That's funny, man.
I'm very last minute. I'm gonna go pick up flowers tomorrow morning. I'll probably like get up
Uh,
and be like,
just tell them they're fresh. You know.
exactly, hand picked.
That's fine. But no, I went today to Costco just to go buy groceries and the flower aisle. I got the flowers a couple days ago. Well, I had to pick them up there, but I ordered them last week. But like everybody, all the guys, just guys,
Hmm.
they're going the flowers. They're like, does this look good to you? I was like, I don't know what your mom likes, man. Get away from me. I'm trying to get some cookies or whatever. But it was packed. It was so packed.
See, but
But
it keeps multiplying the older you get, because then you're like, oh, I got to get the wife, and then I get my mom and my mother-in-law. So it's like,
I
Mhm.
heard that, yeah.
oh my gosh.
Hmm.
Oh crap, your mother-in-law too. I never thought that was a thing, but yeah,
I didn't think about that either. That's
Yeah.
Yeah, I get to see them all tomorrow. So,
He says while biting his lip, "I got to say your mom."
you sound so happy.
I'm happy on the inside, believe me.
But Cash, man, how's your weekend going so far?
So far so good, bro. Appreciate you asking. Just finishing up the last bit of my shows that I have to do. Had a lot, so I kind of split it up into three sections of the room. Two sections are done, so I was working on the last section. That's why when I came on here, I was like, I'll be right back. Just so I was finishing up a couple of them. So just want to make sure everything is reinforced. You know what I mean? And can't wait to get some more things in. Sideshow has a couple bangers, and let's just say currently they have my wallet. So yeah.
damn, J&D boys like just smashing the wall right now. You
Indeed.
betrayed them, man. You went to the dark side.
Hey, I'm just saying, man, you can't really beat the price. So for me, it works. And occasionally, I will get the occasional, XM in there, of course. But if the character is better with sideshow, you
Come
know,
on, man. You buying trash? Come on.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
We'll keep that to
One.
the chat. Well, I
Yeah.
love keeping it in the chat because the memes are priceless to me.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Buck isn't feeling good, guys. Remember what he said. He's not.
Yeah.
He's not thanking you clearly.
Buck's injured. He's talking blasphemy right now. No, I'm kidding. Pudgy, man, how are you?
Good. Everything's good. Everything's very good. Did a little shopping. Got a little photography equipment. Chilled out with the lady. Had a little early dinner, and we're here to relax and chat.
Yeah, yeah, man. Thanks for joining me. I know it's like
Oh,
kind of
thank
last
you.
minute and everything, but it's just like I haven't had a Saturday free, so it's nice to
It's
have a
cool.
Saturday free.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Mr. Strange.
Mr.
I
Strange.
know, I know you're not looking forward to tomorrow, but how's your day so far?
Oh, it's been good. I've actually trying to organize things. So I had to kind of stick around the house today because I got a package from CGC and I had to sign for the UPS man. So I think I'm actually going to live unbox that next week on Club.
Oh, next
So
Friday.
yeah, so I'll be just keeping it boxed up until then. So
I don't know how you guys do it.
Yeah.
What was the grade you're hoping for?
hopefully all 9.8s because they're all new books. It was actually I did it through Whatnot, and there's a comic retailer that sells on there called Unknown Comics, and they were at a con in Orlando. I think it was January, and Tyler Kirkham was there doing signings, and I think Ryan Stegman was there. So you could bid on the books, and then you'd pay a little extra, and they'd send it to CGC for you. So and they're also like the qualified witnesses through CGC. So it should all come back yellow label, and then hopefully 9.8 books.
But so none of these got pressed, just straight to CGC.
Pretty much, yeah. So
Brave man.
I know I'm taking my chances.
And I know, like, if you get anything under 9.8, we'll see some funny reaction live. So that'd be great.
He'll look as happy as he does about Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
That same expression. Oh my God, this is great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's nothing with the day. I'm happy for the day. It's just hitting every like house. It's like, oh, I gotta go like 10 different places, and then we're going out to dinner, and
I call it running the gauntlet.
exactly. Yeah. It's just it makes for a long day. So.
Well, Buck, I know you just graduated, and I know like you're a lot younger than us, but this is what you got, like, look forward to look to, This is
all
your
uphill.
future.
All uphill. Wow, that's not. I would like for it to be downhill. Oh man,
It's not that easy.
Yeah. When they tell you it's work, they don't lie. It is work.
Man.
But Buck, how's your day going? How's your weekend going?
It's going pretty all right, Unemployed. I was chilling with a friend before I came online, and I think he might be watching right now. So.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, man. If he wants to join in too from his computer or anything, just welcome to join. So it'd be cool.
Oh, nice. I doubt he would, but yeah.
It's funny. A lot of people aren't shy. Like, they're shy, of course, but they're like, man, like, I'd be happy to join, but I have nothing in my background. It's like it's not all about the background. It's just like, come have a conversation. That's it.
Fern was showing off some good backgrounds last night off stage. He was like on the French Riviera. He had a grand piano in the background. I'm like, so all you gotta do is Photoshop a few statues in there, and you might be fooling people.
Mr. X did that with someone's background. Oh, Jen Mint's background one day. That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think he did that for a video, right? That was funny.
So,
Yeah. But again, I just want to say happy Mother's Day weekend. Thanks to all the moms out there, wives, girlfriends, baby mamas,
all you mothers out there.
Yeah, you mother.
I know we do have to be thankful for them because we wouldn't be here without them. So
That's right. That's right.
So yeah, happy Mother's Day to you all. But I wanted to. I asked you guys, to come up with a couple of things, but then I also asked you guys with a little thing called considering. Help us decide. So these are statues that we all are considering in purchasing, either it being new or it being old. So like the stuff that's on pre-order or the stuff that's like aftermarket. Here are some that we came up with. So the first one is Batman's Prime 1, and Brenton, you want to tell us a little bit about this one? Like, what you're considering this one, right?
yeah, it was. I actually had it on order and then ended up canceling. But that doesn't mean that maybe down the road, since I guess Prime 1 takes forever to release things, that I can't, order again. But I think it's the best 1/3 Batman out there. And I like this unmasked head sculpt the best, or portrait, because I think it's better than J&D and Queen, even though their hairs are rooted and this is all sculpted. I still think this looks the best. And I like the switch outs because I think there's a pouch you can put the adrenaline in that he uses at the end of the movie. I think there's a batarang switch out. The chest has magnetic batarang, so you can remove that if you use it in the hand switch out. So I thought those were all really cool features.
Yeah, the swap outs are a huge plus for me compared to J&D's or Queen Studios, where you just get like different portraits. So having those options or having those choices is really, really cool to me. I say this is the best one, Brenton. For me, this is the sculpt, base, everything, portrait, for me is the best. Cash, how about you? Do you think Brenton should go forward and buy this for the channel, or?
I mean, as long as price is right for him, I would say yeah. Like it's crazy because I was gonna ask like, and I'm not talking about comic statues, just strictly movies. Like when you think of Batman, it could be recency bias, but whenever somebody says the Batman, this is the actor portraying Batman that I think of. And again, it could be all recency bias, but I don't go to like Clooney or whoever else. Like, so it just makes me feel like if I were to get an actor portrayal Batman that's not comic, like this would probably be the version I would get. And like yesterday, we were talking about like different color schemes with different companies. Like, I want the Batman to look like this. So I would say you're safe with Prime One. And like you said, Brenton, they take a while, so I don't think it's a rush.
1,000%. Like no rush, no rush.
Yeah, and I really love this movie, so I watch this like once a week. This like Batman '89 was my Batman for forever. So since I was real young,
Oh, okay.
and now,
Play on words there. That was very good. That was his Batman forever.
yeah. But this one has trumped that one now as my favorite. Like if I want to watch a Batman movie, I go to this now. I love this movie so much. I love the soundtrack. I listen to it all the time.
Me too.
And this is just, I don't know, it became my ideal Batman. So that's what really draws me to the piece and being like, maybe I do really need this.
I would also piggyback on it to say, I know DC is different than Marvel. Hopefully they do stick with this guy as the Batman, because like I would want to see like a Batman like grow, from the age he is in like in real life to like older Batman. I think that would be perfect if they can keep this actor, as long as him and directors, everybody's on the same page and is working from a lucrative standpoint. Then I would definitely be like, yeah, you could have every iteration of Robert playing the Dark Knight, and I think that would be fantastic.
What has you hesitating? Is it just trying to decide between which one, or you're hesitating on getting a third scale in the beginning to begin with, or?
I think it's size and cost, because it's not like this one is inexpensive. So that this is pretty pricey. So it's just do I really want to commit that much money, considering to all the other things that I'm kind of into?
Okay, well, here's Pudgy's checklist of the first thing to do when you're dealing with something like this. Have you actually, don't just look around and say, I think it'll go good there. Actually get the dimensions and see if it'll fit. Because I have many spots and I'm like, oh, I could put a third there. And then it turns out, no, it's about 6 inches too narrow, even though it looks like a huge spot. And guess what? So the eye versus the actual measurement is can be deceiving.
I know that's what's probably thrown me off and being like, not seeing them ever in person for 1/3.
Yes.
How big is this really going to be?
Yes.
Not seeing them ever in person.
You'll see. But I mean, we're not trying to talk you out of it, but like,
No.
yeah.
No, just seriously, because you would hate to invest this kind of money, open the box, you say this is beautiful, and then it doesn't go ananywhere.
Yeah.
And then you have to box it up and talk the wife into how this will be a great centerpiece.
Well, and probably is 2 boxes, I would imagine, the way that some of the sizes are. So it's like, let's plan for storage of the boxes and that kind of thing too, to make sure that, I just don't want them in the way in kind of the man cave. Be like, I have to
So
set these boxes that are just glitters.
That was good.
I thought for the longest that Superman would have a spot. I thought it would look really great right here next to my TV because there's a nice big gap. And I said, oh, there will go the painting and then the Superman in front of it. But the base is wide, much wider to the, put it this way, he's narrow to your eye, but then in reality, when you have the base, I don't have enough room. So I had to resort to, okay, he's going to have to be in a case that I have to build. So, plan and start measuring, seeing what could you move? Can I move a bookcase over here instead of the one that's here now, et cetera, et cetera. You got to do some planning because it is an investment. It's an investment, significant money.
Yes, you also have to think about shipping. So, like, the cost of the statue is probably like $1,500, $1,600, and then the shipping is going to be like another $200, $300. So,
And if you buy from an American retailer, it's tax, man.
mhm.
Yeah. Yep.
But Buck, I know you already called us enablers, but do you want to enable Mr. Strange?
Yeah, I
Or
think I think it's a very easy choice. I'm planning on getting this one as well. So like, don't say no to this. Everyone's
Yeah.
saying you got time, but if your mind is made up on getting it at some point, then I say just do the deposit, and you could save up on your own instead of doing payment plan on Prime One. Like, you can discipline yourself and you can save up on your own. And once you have the money squared away, if it's before this releases, just hit them up on the customer support and tell them you want to pay it off the balance, and then you pay it off.
Yeah.
But honestly, I don't think you want to miss out on this one.
Yeah.
Because if you waste time, generally Prime One pieces do not sell out before uh, they're ready. But I'll say this: if you don't like it, you can always cancel. If other people are getting it in hand, because Asian collectors will get it in hand. If you don't like what you see, you can always cancel. But I think I'm gonna like it regardless. If this gets to collectors and it's not perfect, I'll send it to a painter to plus it. So like, yeah, this because I really like this movie. I haven't watched it every week like you, but I've watched it 3 times already.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good piece.
Yeah,
Well, I think it doesn't help that Doctor Strange also dropped. So I'm kind of waiting to see what announcements coming out of that too.
Mm.
So I don't want to try and commit to anything until I see what their announcements are for that movie.
Yeah, I feel you.
yeah, that's cool. Well, there you go, Brenton. Bye. Our second one is from our guy Buck. I don't know this piece too well, Buck. So do you want to tell us a little bit about it? It looks pretty
Yeah.
cool.
It's by a sculptor named David Zhao or Zhu, uh, and it's being distributed by Cinemacat. I don't know what's the name of that company. I think that's the name of the company, and it's part of a line of sculpts that he does, where it's like fantastical creatures that are. It's
ECC.
like, yeah, that company. Um, and so like it's just a dragon, and he's done a bunch of other dragons. There's a few of them I wish I could get, but they're so limited in like the edition size, and no one sells them after they're sold out for the most part. Most of them.
Dude, that looks real.
Yeah, I want one so bad. But this thing is about, I think it's 14 inches tall.
Mhm.
It's not that big. And if you had to guess how much this costs, what would you say?
Yeah, God,
The paint
that
is
looks.
incredible. Yeah.
It's expensive, but I don't know. It might not be that expensive. Yeah, I think I want you guys to all guess what the price is.
All right. You said it's 14 inches.
And that's with the base.
With the accessory, looks like a little egg embryo.
Hmm.
Would you say this is quarter scale or is it 6 scale or?
Nah, it's not. It's like literally this is life size because it's an imagined creature, and
Yeah,
this will
okay.
be the size it is.
It looks like the eyes are made of. It almost looks like glass eyes.
Yeah, right. It's amazing.
I'm gonna say like 1100, twelve
Yeah,
hundred.
I was gonna say 1200.
Are you thinking cash?
Oh, it looks bird-like. Look at the beak.
Yeah, right.
It looks good.
Yeah, this some Spielberg stuff right here, bro. 1350.
And
And
Brenton?
you, Brenton,
But how much it's probably going to be?
what it
Uh,
is?
It may even be more because it's such a. It's like an
Or
awful.
it could be
what,
really
like
cheap.
1,000, 1,200? I was really concentrating on that portrait with like the nostrils at the
Yeah.
top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That really drew my attention in. I
Yeah,
thought that was really unique.
it's
I've
a
never
If
seen
if
something
if you
like that.
invited somebody to your house, give them a few drinks, and bring them to the house and say, "Oh, I got a pet bird. Let me show you my pet bird." They would freak the fuck out.
possibly. Yeah, this is just it's 1 grand, right?
I think it's
Mm,
a grand. Okay.
Yeah, and I don't know. I'm always thinking about it. I'm gonna jump on this because I got another dragon in my collection. It's the one by Infinity Studio that Maria Panfilova sculpted, The Encounter. If anyone knows that one, it's like the white dragon and the mouse. If you've seen
Okay.
that statue, but yeah, I'm into dragons, and so I'd want to get this one, but it's pretty pricey and it's not that large. But as you can
Hmm.
see, it's like if I
It,
miss out on getting it like from the company at retail,
yeah, forget it.
like
Then it's
not
done.
even like paying up the nose for it later, but I just might never see it for sale again.
Yeah.
mhm.
Hmm.
So
What is it
your
about?
worry is, do you think it's overpriced, or you're just worried about? What are you worried about on this one?
Yeah, price.
Right.
But yeah, I think I'm probably gonna just get it. I'm gonna get it.
Hmm.
It's beautiful, man. I would get
Yeah,
it if I was collecting this thing.
It's so unique.
yeah.
It's a
And it comes
conversation
with
piece.
jumpfish on the side. So the whole story is that that's what it hunts in the wild. That fish that's in amber.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So
Yeah, I like it a lot. I think you should get it.
yeah,
Uh, no, I don't know. What's the edition size on this thing?
I think it's like 50 or less.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
No, get it.
yeah. I feel like you're gonna miss out if you're gonna wait.
If it speaks to you, yeah, get it.
Yeah.
As long as it's not an irresponsible amount, you know.
Cash, what do you recommend?
If if you're into art, I would say get it.
So
Well,
for sure.
you know I am.
Yeah.
So
Then that's your answer because this isn't a piece where somebody is just gonna have. This is a piece for people who can appreciate art. So I would say for you, yes.
yeah, definitely.
Do it.
It's beautiful, man. If it wasn't for you bringing this to the stream tonight, I would have never known about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna look this company up later. So good luck, Buck.
49. 49
Yeah.
left.
That's cool. So the next one we got here is Cash. Cash is thinking about getting this bad boy or considering.
Mm-hmm.
Cash, do you want to talk a little bit on this one?
Well, it all started with speaking with JP, and just all the intricate details and stuff with, with this one here, and then
Mm-hmm.
able to actually find it brand new, sealed in the box, trusted seller. So
Really?
it's just like, and then I know whatever's being asked on eBay, cash money won't be paying. So it just makes me
Mm-hmm.
be like, ooh. And then the fact that I know I'd be able to do a payment plan as well.
Oh, goodness.
I don't want to pass on it, man. So I'm highly thinking. But I was talking to Pudgy. I was like, yo, should I get this one, the fan art, the XM? And after really talking with Chris Barton, it really made me realize, and Buck already knows where I'm going with this one. I can't have two pre-orders with a fan art company just to kind of dial it back as well. You don't want them, you know, holding you over hand over fist. So it's like this one here. It's everything that I would want in a Thanos. Because it's like I really like the XM one, and if I were to have it, it would be great for me. But for me, I just literally want Thanos, and the fact that it would be cheaper is also more appealing. And only downside to it is both of them I'd be able to do a payment plan, XM and Sideshow. So that's where it became harder. But this one I would be able to get for less. And it's not EX or bust for me as well.
I want to go first on this one.
Sure, sure.
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Choice is easy, man. This is better than the XM.
What'd you say, bro?
Oh yeah.
This is better than the XM.
Oh,
Like,
bro, I know,
by
man.
leagues. Like, don't even waste time. Like, this piece is iconic, and this is one of those pieces where it deserves all the hype. It deserves all the hype. It's just exquisite throughout the sculpt on everything. Thanos, the throne, the level of detail. You don't see this kind of texture on sideshow pieces normally. Look
Yeah.
at you
Texture,
could you
yeah.
could see the fabric texture in his suit, right? They
Yeah.
don't do that normally. It's usually smooth. They don't go for that. Look at the texture on the skulls. He's crushing the skull in his hand on the throne.
Yeah.
You know, like like this is so amazing.
Yo, Buck.
Hey,
Yeah.
Buck, look at this guy.
Yeah.
Agree to disagree. I can't convince.
No, I'll kick him out.
Dr.
I'll kick
Shi.
him out.
Yo,
Oh,
Buck. I got
man.
so two names for you, Buck. JP Mavinga, Will Harbottle.
Yeah,
That's this right here.
yeah.
Yeah, JP. If you Cash, you want to explain who JP is? I don't think everyone knows who JP is.
Yeah, he's an amazing artist, design and sculptor. I was actually introduced to him by Amilcar Fong, and he does a lot of work as well with Sideshow and Tweeterhead. He came up under the umbrella with McFarlane. And he actually got to work with Chadwick Boseman, who was actually the one who greenlit the sideshow piece that's coming out. So he knew about the statue before he passed away, and they were going to be doing a lot of press releases and stuff like that for the statue. But obviously, life events happen. So that's pretty much who created this statue here. He also did Mr. Freeze. He also did Voltron. A lot of cool statues, man.
Yeah, he's really good.
Yeah.
This piece, like the back as well. Like we're not even showing the back. That
Yep.
chair, the design, and the most beautiful thing about this is that he's such a big guy, such a big piece, and they still managed to make it compact, but it's telling a story, and it's telling it so well, with so much detail. Like and it's well painted too. It's Sideshow knocked it out of the park with this piece, and I think if you can get this for a good price, like you're saying,
Yeah.
everything seems like perfect. Everything is
Yeah.
lined up perfectly for you on this piece, man. I say go ahead and do it. Don't don't say no to this. It's a great piece.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look at the heat staining on the sides of the chair. Like those looks like there's thrusters on the side. I don't know if the chair flies, probably floats.
Supposedly
This is
it's a
Mhm.
jetpack blow. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like according to that guy, supposedly it was supposed to be like that.
Yeah.
But Pudgy, what do you think for Cash? Should he?
Yes. Cash is funny because he'll bounce ideas off me, and sometimes, but he's very I don't want to say guarded, but he's very reserved in how he does it. Like he didn't tell me everything he just said right now about this opportunity. He was just like, "Would you pursue Thanos on Throne if it was available to you?" And I was like, "I respect Thanos on Throne. I think it's a beautiful piece." I said, "But for my collection, I tend to go more for an earlier classic comic look. So I love the piece. I respect it, but it's not on my to get list." So he's like, "Would you like XM better?" I said, "Well, the old school XM one, it fits more my collection." Now that's not endorsing the old school first generation XM one over this in terms of which is a better Thanos. But the way he phrased the question to me, I was like, "Yeah, it's not personally on my list, but now when you tell me you have the opportunity you have right now, that's a whole different light. If this piece speaks to you, which it speaks to almost the whole community, I would say, yeah, you don't. This is like the true gift horse in the mouth kind of opportunity. Yeah, you do this.
And I don't know if Breton, if you've seen this in person or if you know about this one. I know you're. Would you consider yourself new to the statue game, or
Yeah, I would definitely consider myself new, so I'm slowly learning as I get more involved, I guess. So I try and,
Hmm.
read up and view as much stuff as possible so I can get a better understanding. So to me, for Cash's decision, it's like, what kind of look do you want for Thanos himself? Like Pudgy said, do you want a classic, like bright purple Thanos? Do you want more of like a MCU Thanos suit?
Well, see,
Right.
that's the thing, Brenton. Like the fan art one that I had showed Pudgy and that Buck knows about it for from a classic costume, it's perfect. But the detail and everything on this sideshow one, it knocks everything out the park. All the check marks that you want. Maybe not the exact comic look per se, but
Hmm.
everything far as just the detail alone in this and just the present shocker. And I'm not gonna lie. Also, knowing who was involved with this also kind of really helps the decision as well. Just being honest, but for some reason I'm not 110% sure. It's all like really based on price, but I just want to make sure I'm making the right decision because he's sitting down. Will it go cool next to a Silver Surfer? You know what I mean?
You know what this would probably work well with too, if you're getting like the Purgatory or like maybe the Vampirella or something too, because that's the skulls at the sides of his throne reminds me of Death, who he
Mm-hmm.
pretty much loves. Like I
Oh
don't know if
yeah,
you've ever read the Infinity Gauntlet. Like that's the whole reason for the snap and everything else. It's because he's doing this to impress Death,
yeah,
because he's in love with her. And that I really get that from this. It reminds me of that more with the skulls on the throne and everything. Like Death is an aspect of this.
gotcha.
I saw your interview with King, and I like what he said. He's like, Sideshow did this so well that all the companies are copying this,
Hmm.
like
Yeah,
the suit,
yeah.
like they made they made their own suit basically with this compared to the comics. But I I don't know. The next question for me would be like exclusive or bust. For me, I got the regular one, but the exclusive one I got to see in person, and it changes it for some reason for me. The smile and seeing the teeth, I was like,
Mm-hmm.
wow. But there's customs that make them too, so
Yeah.
you could always go that route too. But and the cool thing, I don't know anyone said it yet, but the gauntlet lights up, so that's pretty
Oh
cool.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know if that's USB or batteries?
It's batteries.
Okay.
Yeah, they last forever on this one. Like mine's never gone dead yet. But and you also have to remember this is quarter scale, but Thanos is a bigger character, so this is going to be like a little baby compared, like a big baby compared to the
Hmm.
rest of the quarter scale ones. He's a little bit bigger than everybody else, so
Wow.
there's
Even
that too.
sitting down, that's crazy.
Yeah,
What
he's
would you
thick,
say? He's
man.
like 10 feet tall if he stands up. Like he pretty much
No.
towers over regular humans.
So yeah, he would probably be taller, but he's a lot wider. He would be a lot wider too. Like he's massive. Like it'd probably be like four of Silver Surfer's legs to one of his legs. He's that thick.
Ooh. All right. All right.
Yeah, but
Don't
yeah, man.
bother with the cost custom, man. Even if this was not on the table, don't do it. That's my advice.
Aiden does that the XM, but it just wasn't Thanos. Way too stylized. Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah. Let us know what happens with this one, man. That'd be cool.
Yeah. We'll do. We'll do.
Cash also had the Nightcrawler from Sideshow. I didn't know this was an exclusive one too, so it's pretty cool.
Yes.
Yeah. It's exclusive. Yeah, with this one, I'm really confused on two things. Number one, obviously, you guys know XM is coming out with theirs shortly. I'm not. I guess I don't to word it like this. I don't want to debate like, oh, XM's more premium than Sideshow. That part there doesn't really matter to me. This
Mhm.
one I really like. I like the colors. I like everything I see. The dynamicness of the pose. Um, Even if you're going off of edition size, which I'm not sure if they've actually like released that to this point. Um, I don't think they have, but it looks really good in terms of like the EX is just the swords in the hand. But it's $615 and it's supposed to come out between somewhere around October, December. So I feel like that maybe it'll get pushed back to January, whatever. It's still close enough. Um, I think it's a good representation of the character. But do you guys feel like you would want to wait to see what someone else does? No different than Britain waiting to see if there's more Doctor Strange stuff, perhaps.
You don't need to rush for this one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's slideshows. Like they'll probably put up the edition size to like 3,000, so you have some time. But
I wouldn't
yeah,
even say like that's. I would say the fact that they haven't listed the edition size yet means you
I
still
don't
got
like
some
that,
time.
man.
I don't know. Like I don't care about ES normally, so like I would say the fact that it hasn't been announced yet means that you can wait. Usually when it's like been announced, I would say the time when you need to decide immediately whether the exclusive means anything to you is once it starts shipping. By that point, you need to make a decision. Um, so for now, you can wait. Once it starts shipping, if the exclusive is gone, you're not going to see it again for a reasonable price. Look at Gambit, look at Rogue, look at any other piece. And like, would you rather get it for, someone's going to ask you for 900 to 1,000 bucks, or would you rather pay retail? And if you put your money down and you do a payment plan, if you cancel, how much you're gonna lose? Like 30 something dollars, 60.
Yeah.
So like, honestly, I say it's worth it.
yeah.
Okay.
For me, I really like the Sentinel hand. Like looking at it in this picture, it look.
Mhm.
I love that color. Like the
The
colors they
colors
used on
pop.
the. Yeah,
Yeah.
the
Just
colors
it'll
they
jump
use.
off the screen.
Yeah, they use the Sentinel hand on the Wolverine sideshow, and to me the colors on that one, I've had that one before. I'm looking for it again for some reason, but like
Hmm.
it's kind of dull to me the colors compared to this. This one
Hmm.
like really pops,
Yeah.
and for me the smoke how it transitions from that purple to a pink, that's beautiful to me.
Cash, are you exclusive or bust on this one? It's like the exclusive is the one you must have because of the swords.
No.
You'd be happy
That
either way.
that doesn't. I mean, of course, if the exclusive is there, that's what I'll purchase.
Hmm.
But to me, Nightcrawler doesn't have to have the swords. When I see him with the swords and like more of a different look, it kind of reminds you of like the what do they call it, the swashbuckle version.
Swashbuckler. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Hmm.
I don't either
Right.
way really. Either way.
Okay. I know XM was working on a Nightcrawler.
Hmm.
So, I mean, if you would, it depends. I mean, either way, the XM's going to cost twice this.
Yeah,
So now it's a matter
Yeah.
of, do you shop for brand or throw brand out the window and just, like I always say, does the piece speak to you?
Yeah.
If the piece
I'm
speaks to
fine
you.
mixing, XM sideshow
Mhm.
Tweeterhead. I'm
Yeah.
perfectly fine with
So
that
am I.
myself. Yeah.
And you've got time. So like
Hmm.
they're not.
for
This
both.
isn't coming out for a few months. So and it's not
It's
that. It's never. There's never going to be a sideshow piece that will sell out before it releases. So
gives you
you
time
just
to see what XM comes out with.
exactly. So if
See if
XM
that
haven't,
knocks you out.
yeah, if XM haven't shown you anything by like the time this like starts shipping, that's when you start to panic. But for now, you got time.
Nothing like making decisions while you're panicking. So it's
Yeah.
always good to make financial decisions under panic.
So, what do you think the story that this base is telling? Because I'm not sure I completely understand what's going on.
I feel like he's about to get crushed by the Sentinel, but he uses his disappearing thing and he just pops off.
He's
Uh,
poofing them.
yeah.
But I feel like
Uh,
he poofed into the hand of the Sentinel to jump at his head.
That's
Yep,
because
that's what I'm. That's what I'm thinking
you're
as well.
statue dyslexic. Sorry.
No, I think I agree with Brenton. I think that's what's happening.
But I didn't understand of the purple being below the hand around the wrist area, so at the very bottom of the base. So I didn't
Hmm.
understand if that's supposed to be like the sentinel hand swiping as he's appearing.
Hmm. It could be like he poofed from like below, and then the hand was moving, and so it's pulling the smoke from where he disappeared from, and then he appeared in the hand. It could You could make it whatever you want, but yeah, it does look kind of odd that there's smoke at the base of the hand.
Mhm.
It's whatever you want it to be. Actually, I mean, I'm not being a wise ass when I say it like
Oh
that.
no, no.
I mean, honestly, it's like you look at it and one person interprets it another way and the other way, and nobody's wrong. But
Yeah, that's don't let
you
me
know,
discourage you by like me viewing it
mhm,
in a weird way.
mhm.
We need more people that are not enabling. Okay.
I think it's also the smoke could be nothing more than a way of introducing some more color and making it more eye catching. As opposed to just having the hand on like a plain base. It's camouflage. It's parsley on your steak.
Yeah.
It's a garnish.
I like it to be honest, Cash. Your two picks, Thanos and Nightcrawler.
Yeah.
So I think it'd be a good lineup.
Cool. Thanks, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that it's
Next,
dynamic. So
Pudgy. You want to tell us a little about this little girl?
Yeah, this is old school. I don't have any treater head pieces, but they're like the girl in high school that got away, and I've always admired them from afar. And this is treater head. I think it's first gen treater head did a whole line of Batman 66, and this is Yvonne Craig as Batgirl, which was one of the first things that let me know I was heterosexual as a young boy, and and I think they nailed this portrayal of her spot on. It's literally it's her. It's a great likeness, and now that I'm focusing on DC and 1/6 scale, I've decided I'd like to go back and get a few that got away. This was one, but from what I've seen in casual eBay searches, this one is it's a Thanos on throne of tweeter heads. Apparently, it's hard to get and it's expensive.
Oh
I
man.
think there's a lot of guys my age who remember their first Woody because of this woman. So this one is very popular.
Oh lord.
So I did think I saw it for $250 as when it first came out. What's the
Mhm.
going price now for this one?
I saw one on eBay that's an artist proof, and they're numbered artist proof. It's a numbered 1 out of 50, and it's going for $2,000.
What?
oh wow.
So,
Now that's the only one out there, and that's the only. And I haven't been looking for this actively as of late, so I don't know if that is like a typical market price or if that is just a a typical eBay drunk buy it now price.
Yeah, Pudgy. Here we go. We know this guy
Oh,
right here, Picky. So
look!
is Spiggy trying to do business?
No. But yeah, she's a great piece in due time.
Yeah.
But again, I haven't been shopping actively to know what the market is, but I know it's when I do a casual treater head search, rarely, if ever, do I see this piece come up.
I've
So
never seen this piece come up.
yeah, so
I've
I've
never seen this either.
so I haven't done my homework as to whether what the numbers were when it was produced. Is it lower than others, or so? I'm going to do some homework to see what a proper average price is for this bad boy.
Yeah.
I like this piece. Like, you could tell. Like, for me, I could tell. Like you said, it's a tweeter head piece, right?
I'm sorry, say it again.
It's a tweeter head piece.
Yes.
This is from Tweeterhead.
Yeah.
So yeah, Tweeterhead had like this whole line going for this one. I remember, and
Yes.
yeah, like when Tweeterhead does classic ones, they do it right.
My goodness. Yeah. This is it's her. I don't know if you have. I sent you a picture of actual her in a similar pose. I don't know if you have it queued up, but it's for those who are young and don't know who this is.
I didn't put it in the slideshow,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
yeah,
No
it's
problem.
like
But yeah.
literally the same. Yeah.
Just Google image Batman, Batgirl, 1966.
It's been so long since I watched that show.
Yeah, me too. I have it on DVD. You really, I haven't seen it in a long time.
I think what would determine whether I tell you to get this or not depends on, because this is definitely the proto. So
Mhm.
what does this look like in production? And then like how much is it going for? How much you could find it for? I'd say if you could find it
Right,
for like 600 and lower,
right.
then buy it.
I'll tell you the some of the ones that I'm familiar with that are sought after that you see now and then is Adam West, and Adam West I've seen between 500 on a good day and 700 on typical days. And same price range also for Julie Newmar's The Catwoman. This
And
one I hardly
that's
ever
all
see.
Tweeterhead or Sideshow.
They're all Treaterhead distributed by Sideshow.
All right, and 6 scale.
Yep.
Okay, because I know Sideshow did a quarter scale Adam West and Catwoman from
Yeah.
that
No.
era.
Yeah. These are sixth. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, just like Buck said, like if you could find this at a good price, like reasonable price, I would definitely pull the trigger on it. Does it worry you at all that it's an older piece, like Tweeterhead, like older Tweeterhead piece that they won't redo this, or do you think they would redo this?
No. I think the window for people that this appeals to is getting narrower as guys get it. This is part of my childhood. So as guys like me, either age out of the hobby or age out of the planet, the market for this kind of piece, it's not there. So I don't foresee them doing. And if they did, great.
I just saw like a picture of the production. Hell yeah, get it.
Oh
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. It looks awesome.
Okay. Cool.
Maybe Piggy. We talk to Piggy after the show and we make a deal or something.
Yes, sir.
No,
Well,
but
Pudgy, I think you're right though. You have to grow up with this. Like you can't.
Right.
Like if you didn't watch this as a kid and get into it, you can't go back as an adult and try and watch the show
No, you can't.
because
No.
you're gonna be like, "What is this?"
What am I doing?
Yeah,
I have shit to do around the house. What am I doing?
can't have like Batman running around with a big bomb just back and forth.
Yeah. Some days you can't get rid of a bomb.
so we'll keep an eye out for it. I've honestly never seen this before, but now that you bring it up, I'm sure it'll come up. So
Yep.
I'll let you know. The other one Pudgy had in mind or was considering was the Green Lantern. What's this guy's name?
Kyle Rayner.
Kyle Rayner, yeah. But in 6 scale, right?
Yes, this is the 6 scale one as well. Because like I said earlier, I'm kind of looking now at DC 1/6, since the 1/6 pieces really, to me, are having a resurgence in terms of quality and detail. And the DC is lacking in my collection, and now I have a small spare hobby room that would be perfect. That's going to become kind of my DC 1/6. And I hesitate on this guy only because I already have the XM Hal Jordan, which is a great piece. So that is my Green Lantern. So Kyle is not. I have a gap in my reading where I really never addressed Kyle Rayner at all. So the character doesn't speak to me. What speaks to me here purely is the piece itself, how the construct, how bold it is. So it's a beautiful piece, but I already have a Green Lantern, and this is a 1/6 that is past a good quarter scale in price. I think the price on this guy is high 8 to 9, if I remember right.
Wow.
So you're talking quite a price for a piece that commands presence, but is not particularly enamoring to me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If it was Hal Jordan, on there, I'd be like, holy moly. Right.
Yeah, but you wouldn't get this with Hal Jordan. So that's my thing is, the
Right.
cool thing about the Green Lanterns are that depending who has the ring, their constructs
are different.
Like Kyle
Exactly.
is an artist, so that's why he was designed to be an artist. So that's why you get him, riding a mech. his mind
Gotcha.
works very different than Hal Jordan or John
Hal
Stewart.
Jordan is guns and bombs, and because
Yeah,
he was a pilot. God, okay,
exactly.
I did not know that. That's excellent. Okay.
Yep.
Kyle is far more creative when it comes to his constructs, and I think that's why you can mix and match lanterns and not have a very repetitive display. So like whatever Kyle would be
Hmm.
associated with, Hal would have something completely different.
Yeah, I also look at this and say, wow, this would just like make a great bookend in a display. You know, you got Hal on one end and him on the other,
Yeah.
and that's attractive to me too. It's just a
Yeah. Oh man, I'd say you should want to get six scale because I looked at the price difference and it's like $100 between quarter and sixth.
yeah. Have you looked at the square footage? What square footage costs on Zillow right now? I can't afford a bigger house. This is it.
Oh
That's a
man.
good point.
This
That's a good
this
point.
is it.
Well, if that's the case, then don't get it at all. Then I would even like, I would even like, you know, caution against people having more than one collecting room. Um, I
That's how I
don't.
get exercise, Buck. I go upstairs and downstairs. Come on, it's part of my cardio. I'll have no
Oh
reason to go
man,
upstairs then.
yeah. I feel like it's like I always want to be in the room that my pieces are in. That's the room I want
Yeah,
to spend the most time in. And then if they're like split between two rooms, then you don't
yeah.
get to see them as much, right?
No, no, understood. The thing that works for me with that room is this is my this is my TV, computer chill room, gaming room,
Mm-hmm.
and upstairs is like a studio, like where I do painting. I
Okay.
airbrush and stuff, and
You
I
do
do
the
my
card.
photography in there.
Yeah.
So it's a secondary cave, you
Okay.
know. So I'm in both of them.
All right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Uh, do you know if that enabled you by chance, like finding out he's an artist?
Yeah, no, that's a great tidbit. That explains a lot. Explains why he gets that whole different style of construct, and that is cool. It makes me want to read a little bit about him. I've never read any Kyle Rayner runs at all.
This
I'm
one's
sure
on
he
my
was like
list
the
as well,
only one
man.
for a long time.
Yeah.
Hmm. And I could see it in my mind as a bookend on the other end of a shelf, Hal on one end and him on the other. So
He gets another ring, right? Um, in the books.
I'm
Hal?
sorry.
No, Kyle. Yeah, Kyle. He gets another ring, right? He becomes more than a Green Lantern. Am I crazy?
I think
Um,
it's Hal, right?
no, I
No.
think you may be right. I think that's in that area right after Blackest Night, and they started Brightest Day,
It's either white or
and
Right.
blue.
he
I
may have
read
gotten
Darkest
like a
Night.
blue or white ring.
Yeah.
Okay. White Lantern. Okay.
Yeah, that's it. Thanks, Jesse. Yeah, because I knew that was the case. This is one piece I want as well, man. It's freaking awesome, and I like the fact he's got an anime mech underneath him. You
I
know,
love, yeah.
it
And I
just
don't know
looks
if you
so
guys saw
awesome.
the Green Lantern emblem on the mech's chest. I
Mm-hmm.
thought that was really cool.
Another thing I think is sick is that normally you don't get this kind of finish on a construct. Uh, it's literally metallic, right? It looks metallic finish. It's not the like if you look behind, there's like a translucent resin look
On
um,
the
on the exhaust trail, but on the actual rocket, it's a metallic finish, and on the robot as well, it's a metallic finish. There's like a combination of different kind of finishes. The head for the mech is it looks like it's painted to look like metal, like a fake metal, and then the body is actually metallic paint. And I'm digging all that different stuff all over. And this piece is this piece and the cheetah I want to get in quarter scale if I have space. But I'm still like working out my spreadsheet.
uh, Buck, do you see this as an issue in terms of quality from jumping from quarter scale to six scale?
Uh and what do you mean by quality?
Like the texture, the paint, everything
It's gonna be different, but when they're making their prototypes, they will prototype. They'll change the texture scale for six scale. They'll test a few things to see what works, to see how they can get like a decent amount of detail in 6 scale to show in the clothing versus, and you can get really good detail in 6 scale. It's not impossible. So they can definitely make it look good. It's just that it will be harder to get finer detail on 6 scale than it would be to get on quarter and versus third, which is why usually you see the most detail on third scale because it's larger. You can do finer detail on it.
Yeah. Well, Pudgy, definitely let us know, man, when you make your decision because I think it's a limited. Well, it's a 300 edition size, so it's pretty small.
Something like that. It's a low ES. Yeah, it's a very low ES. That's one of the things about 1/6 now. Well, at least with the XM pieces, they're doing some really dynamic shit. They're doing some really dynamic stuff, but and they're coming out with lower ESs as well, and that's not a selling point to me because I buy to collect and keep and be buried with as opposed to flip. But
You Egyptian pharaoh.
yes, I'm going out like a pharaoh. That's it. Just piling it all up. But it does come into play for me just in the sense of, like the Batgirl, like how many of them are out there, so that do I just sit back and say I'll get it later secondary, or no, if I like it, now's the time. Rip the Band-Aid off.
See, that's what gets me about this one is like I see this construct and this is just amazing. And then when the Prime One showcase went and they showed like Hal Jordan and I thought his construct was, I don't know, it's kind of a letdown. I'm like, you can
Really?
do,
Oh, I liked it.
yeah, because I think you can do so much with a Green Lantern piece. There's so many options because they literally can make anything a weapon. Anything they think of
Yeah. Yeah.
can be a
Okay.
weapon.
Here's where your experience will come into play. They could make a tremendous construct, like you just said. It's a 1/3 piece. That tremendous construct is going to take up so much room and be so heavy and be another box to ship. It's prohibitive. I think that's why, you know, you'll see some 1/3. Look at the 1/3 pieces that are now dioramas. I don't know if you've seen these. Like Prime One has these Batman versus Superman diorama in 1/3. In 1/6, that would be a commanding piece. They're doing it in 1/3, where basically you're going to have to get a dining table and dedicate it to that one piece. So to do something extra dynamic on something that's already very similar to like Hush behind me, to Hush Superman, the more dynamic, the bigger, the heavier, the more construction hurdles for them to overcome. And
I
that's
want
all cost.
I want to interject there and say that it's up to the artist, the concept artist, to make it
Make-
look good and make it like within those
Manageable.
constraints.
Right.
Making commercial art like to make money is all about working within the constraints that you're given for each project. If Prime One says we want this to look like an amazing construct, but we're worried about space, it needs to fit these dimensions. Trust me, the artist will make something. Even looking at this Kyle Rayner, like it's not that wide. Like compared to his body, just look at all the dimensions. It's
Mhm.
kind of compact, but it's got a lot
Mhm.
going on. It still has a mech, like a whole ass mech in it, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you can see a giant robot and these big missiles. There's like exhaust trails, and he's got the power raging out of his ring,
Hmm.
and they still manage to fit that into something that's relatively compact for all you see that's going on, right? And
Yeah.
that's just a matter of the art director giving the constraints. Prime One, they don't tell the artists to constrain themselves.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they just go
Mhm.
crazy, and I feel that's why their stuff is usually going out of hand with size, and all they need to do is tell the artists, the concept artists, like make this make sense,
Yeah.
and they will give you something. So in that regard, I actually prefer this piece to the 1/3 Hal Jordan.
Hmm.
And I thought that was amazing as well. But I really love this piece.
Hmm.
But the biggest reason stopping me from getting this is I don't
Hmm.
need a Green Lantern. I don't even want to collect DC pieces.
Right.
But this piece just
So
speaks to
good.
me
It
so
still
much.
speaks to you though.
So
That's
good.
wild. Right.
It's so amazing. Everything is working. I love the finish on the suit, the
Yeah.
like metallic on the gauntlets, on the boots, the like faceplate, the mask, his hair, the way it's flowing. Everything is just so awesome, man.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Well, keep talking. I'm opening a tab.
So we have like 42 people watching right now. So this is also for the people watching. Like, try to enable us. There's 40
Yeah.
other people, 42 other people watching. So enable us, or enable Pudgy at least. Not me yet.
Oh,
But,
oh, nice. Nice.
I'm enabling myself as I speak.
I know.
There you go.
So yeah, like that's why I called this episode "Fear of Missing Out." Like, I
Mhm.
feel like that's a big factor too, man. Like, we keep mentioning edition sizes, even though like that's not a big thing for me either. Like, Sideshow has
Mhm.
huge edition sizes. If the piece calls out to me, I'd rather get it than like worry about edition size being whatever.
Right.
But
Agreed.
to be honest, like now that we're like Buck was mentioning the paint, the metallic paint on the Gundam. I call them Gundam, but I cannot unsee that. So I kind of want to get this in quarter scale.
Wow. Yeah. In
It-
quarter scale, this is going to be wow.
It is showstopper, man.
Yeah.
it's
Quadruple
52
unboxing. No, it's fine.
It's 52 pounds, I think. Last I remember for the quarter scale one.
For the quarter
So
scale.
Oh man.
it's pretty heavy.
Ouch.
I'd like
But,
kill my dog if it fell on it.
Wow. That's,
Oh
do
yeah,
you,
like
do, you, do you guys want to add anything else for Pudgy before he orders this
no,
guy?
I think this is
Before he orders it.
this is a great statue. The base is perfect. It seems like it has a lot of presence for a statue that's crouching down. Because if you look at the Psylocke from Sideshow, the new one that's been teased, or well, I guess not teased, but it's coming. It's also crouching, but it's not going to have the presence as this one. It's going to be a really cool statue, but it's not gonna take up that type of room on your display shelf. So I would say if you are a Green Lantern fan, if you don't care about Hal or John or Kilowog, anything like that, then I think this would be a perfect one for you.
I feel like if I get this, I'm gonna hunt down the John Stewart from Sideshow.
Tweeterhead's got a John Stewart coming out that looks nice.
No, but that one is too museum to go with something.
Yes,
that's
it is.
dynamic.
It is, yes.
Yeah.
So, really quick question for you guys. Do you think with the success, I think it's going to be a success. They're going to sell out of this one. But do you guys think they're going to go the rest of the core, the Green Lantern core? Or do you guys think they're going to stick with these characters?
Dave-
Please no. Please
They
no.
they did one other one. They did Jessica Cruz, who's a character
Oh,
I'm not too familiar with. I got to read up on her.
She's new.
I think
She
she had a
was,
battle
Right.
axe. She had a battle
she was
axe.
paired with Simon Baz because they kind of got rings together. I
Okay.
don't remember exactly how they work, but they're like the newest lanterns in the comics. But it would be neat to see something like if you're going to go with the Green Lantern kind of display, where you start getting in the other lanterns that are out there, red lanterns, orange,
Yeah.
get some of those other guys involved. I think that would look really cool together.
Yeah. Licensed hasn't really done any yet that I know of, except for me. Well, now they're doing Sinestro in 1/3, but like I've always said, I would love to see a Kilowog. I think a Kilowog would be a great character to see.
Yeah.
You know, XM's always listening and they're watching right now. So,
Ang, Kilowog, Ang.
I feel like XM is the most likely to do a Kilowog.
Yeah.
Yeah, if
That
they
would be
do
a
the
great
other Green Lanterns, oh man, I think I'm screwed. I don't know. I actually like the Green Lanterns, man. Crap. I just
Yeah,
didn't
what if
like
they
the
did-
Jessica Cruz, thankfully.
Get like an Abin Sur or something. That would
Oh,
probably be a
man.
neat idea. So Abin Sur is the lantern that died on Earth that gave
Yes.
Hal his ring.
His
So,
ring.
in
Yes.
case you guys didn't know.
that'd be cool. Yeah.
Get Abensur and Sinestro and Hal. And you get all of those three. Man,
And
you
then
put the newer generation too to flank them and stuff.
Yeah,
and
I think
then
that would be really cool.
park my car in the street and turn the garage into a statue room. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
Great
man.
ideas
I
together.
don't have
No.
the space,
No,
bro.
no.
I really don't. And so like the more I think about it, I'm just like this is wrong. I already got too much
Uh,
on feel already.
That's why I'm going with, like, I'm into statues, but I'm also into cars. And my cars need their garage. The
Yeah.
babies need a place to sleep. Sorry.
To go on with the whole thing, I don't need to be enabled for this one. I just want to hear your guys' opinions on this one because I'm definitely gonna go for this. This is to me, this is. Someone mentioned if they make a variant like a black suit one, like if I would get it, I'd be happy with this one to be honest. But
That's great.
what do you guys think of the sideshow storm?
It looks awesome, but thankfully she's never been one of my favorite X-Men. So like
Thankfully,
yeah, because yeah, I think it looks awesome, so, but I don't want it, so that's good. I'm always happy when there's something that I like but I don't want. Mark
that's a
safe
good
from this
problem.
event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love this one because like the sideshow does female portraits the best. So when I know when I get this one, that's all I'm gonna be looking at is like her portrait. But then like the little tornado on the bottom or whatever that is in the bottom, it lights up. So that's like a nice little touch. But
And-
overall, this is like I think this will go great with the collection that I have right
Yeah.
now.
No risk of wonky eyes either. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No, this was another one like Scarlet Witch where I've been following since the beginning. Pretty confident on it. You got Will Harbottle again on this, and then you have Kate on the paint. So normally when her name's attached to paint, it's pretty good. How do you pronounce her last name, Buck?
Cat
Kate
Sapene.
Yeah, very good painter. So I think this is gonna be nice, man. I know the ES is a little high for the ES people out there, but again, this is one that I've been following since the beginning. And if I was right on Scarlet Witch, I think I'm safe on this one to pick it up.
Yeah, so you're saying to me, well, are you saying it's going to be a day one? For me, I think it's going to be a day one. Like when
This is gonna be a day one for me as well. Like I will be waiting for UPS to drop that off. Like this is a good one. I want a storm.
Jason says something pretty funny. Getting her, but she can stop the Brotherhood with that forehead alone. Hairline's wacky. Jesus.
Damn, Jason.
They did clean it up a little bit.
A little bit. Yeah, they
It
cleaned
was
the whole thing up.
was worse, Jason. Like it was a lot worse, bro. But they
like a
did clean it
year.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
You know when you got the wind in your face, you know, like obviously your hair is gonna be pulled back. Nah, no excuses, man. She's on the 4-hand gang, the 5-head gang, man. God damn.
I was thinking the cape was gonna bother me, but then I saw didn't they have like a unboxing or a setup?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The way it attaches magnetically, it's gonna be
Mhm.
really easy. You can't mess up with this one.
Yeah.
No, and what I like most is the way it pegs though. The way it pegs makes me feel like it's gonna actually be like secure. It's not gonna be like like how you mess up the
Yeah.
key or anything like that.
Mhm.
So I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
think
something.
is the cape posable or it's just is there any wire inside?
There's wire inside, but like you see on her wrists, that's where
Mhm.
the
Yeah.
magnets attach.
It magnetizes to the yeah.
Yeah.
This looks like a good one. This is a good piece. Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
I just like I'm so happy I don't want it. Like I've kind of sworn off X-Men, but the pieces I want from Sideshow really bad are like Cyclops and Nightcrawler.
Mm-hmm.
Pudgy, what do you think? Should I get it or pass it
Oh.
up? Or
No, well, I would get it because I like the piece. I put it this way: if you want a storm in your collection, in your quarter scale collection, your options, talking license pieces, you've got this, and then you've got the prohibitively expensive secondary market XM1.
3K.
Okay, 3K, and I've seen 4 sometimes. So it's a dynamic piece. It's not boring. It's got light up feature. Uh, the costume is eye catching. I think it's going to catch your eye on the shelf. I think it's got a lot going for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this would be
Uh,
my ideal storm. You know, this
Hmm.
is
really?
what I remember from like I don't know, I like X Men the animated series is where like my X Men kind of experience really begins and ends. I was a big fan of that show along with Spider Man growing up, and you know, this is what reminds me of that show. So maybe it has a lot of nostalgia going for it, but it looks like a beautiful piece
Yeah.
beyond that nostalgia.
One thing you can also appreciate here is that because the suit is really simple in terms of like the paint, and because they don't have to shade, it's literally just gonna be like the paint doing the work for them. They can't. This is one piece they almost cannot fuck up. Right? It's going to look great. Like as good as and even better than prototype possibly. Like that's what is so good about this piece. So I say get it.
And
Brenton,
it,
do you think the suit should be white compared to this metallic color? Or are you okay with this
Uh,
color?
that I mean, it's white enough for me that I think the way I interpret all of this is that the reason they use this metallic is like glare from a lightning that she is causing. So I think
mm,
that's why it's making it light the way it does, or at least that's what they're going for.
mm,
I think
So
it's hard for factories to do white properly. From
that
what I
as well.
they kind of
White
suck at shading it. Oh, shading is always too harsh.
white paint is a chore. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
like I that didn't even really register in my head as like, oh, this isn't actually white. It's more of a silver.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Like for some reason that wasn't even registering to me.
Which
Mm.
is good.
Does anyone watching know if she ever had a silver outfit in the comics? Especially this outfit.
Well, they changed the color on this one. It was a more of a bluish. They took the pictures away, but it had more of a blue tint to it,
So
as well
like
as the hairline.
I think
Mm.
that's what they call like the interference colors or the colors that are like kind of like pearlescent depending on like how the light hits it, you get another color. You know about that Pudgy? You ever use those kind of paints?
No,
Um Yeah, it's like when you get I forgot what you call them, but there's a few companies that do that kind of paint.
you're talking
Um
about you mean like pearlescent paints.
yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like you get two colors out of it. You got the primary color that it's at, and sometimes you can get
Yes.
more than one. You could get like even three or even
Need a
four. I
and you
think the
need a
most
base coat as well.
yeah. But
Yeah.
there's some paints that you just like, you just put it once in one go and you're good. And it like depending on how the light hits it,
Yeah.
it'll bend the light differently and you get like a different under color, different
Yes.
color. And I think that's the
Yes.
kind of paint they're getting. That's why you're using. That's why you got that kind of blue before.
And
Um,
the old school name for it was flip flop because you
oh
could
yeah,
walk around a car and it'll be like you'll see women have nail polish like this where you look
hmm
and the nails could look white, but when the light hits it a certain way, you'll see like a purple tone or a
yeah,
blue
or
tone.
green
It
and
flip
like
flops as the light hits it and as you walk around. Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty clean.
Yep.
So enabled.
There you go.
Yeah, you got to get this one, especially because I know you're like building out X Men. Um,
And
yeah, this is such a dangerous line, man, because there's a lot of good ones in it.
Yeah. And it's sideshare too, so the price doesn't like go crazy as it
it's
comes.
not prohibitive. Yep.
Yeah, yep.
And they do well with they always seem to do pretty darn well with female portraits.
Oh yeah,
So
1,000%. Yeah.
they've been doing really good lately.
The last one I had was this is an old one,
Ooh,
but this yeah, this
Cool.
Juggernaut.
yeah,
Hell yeah.
yeah.
Hell yeah. I like it.
So I seen this for sale. The thing that bothered, like, I love the construct, the paint, the sculpt, everything's like a 10 out of 10 for me. It's just the
Hmm.
price. It's a huge piece though, so it commands that price. The
Hmm.
last price I saw it for was, you know, aftermarket exclusive was $1,400. and
Sometimes when
it's
I
like,
see it for cheaper, man.
yeah. So that's what kind of scares me off. Just for a quarter scale, it is a big piece, you know.
Hmm.
But $1,400 for
But that's still
Well,
too far from retail, right? Retail was,
yeah,
yeah, retail I think was $1,300, $1,200. So
yeah,
it's definitely not far off.
definitely.
So
I've seen this piece. If this is the one I'm thinking of, this is a big piece because I've seen it posed like with Gladiator Hulk,
Hmm.
mhm.
and it
It
commands
matches them.
presence. Yeah,
Those
Yeah.
it's
those fists are massive.
yeah.
Yeah, I think
1,400's fair.
this one is one to get. It's one of the really big, like, dope ones in the line that no one ever really talks about. But it's pretty sick. It's a dope piece.
I
Yeah.
like the implementation of Kitty Pryde too. Phasing,
Yeah.
it's kind of cool. It's a cool satellite piece.
So she's pretty crazy too. I don't know if you guys have ever seen her or unboxing or seen this one in person. She's like in four pieces. Her hair is one
Hmm.
piece. Her
Really?
ponytail's in one piece. Her
And the
sculpt is
base is
one
separate.
piece. Her base is separate, and it's like amazing.
Hmm.
So, and I think Juggernaut's like one whole piece, other than like the metal shards around him.
Yeah, no, his head is his head doesn't come attached.
Yeah,
And actually, I think the um, torso might detach from the legs as well.
one of the legs, I think. Yeah. But yeah, it's a huge piece, and Juggernaut's definitely one of my favorite characters. Like, once he starts running, no one could stop him, supposedly. And
Yeah.
he was my first statue, but in Bowen. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I might pick him up eventually, but this is one. The only reason why I haven't picked him up is, I, do you guys think they'll make another Juggernaut anytime soon, or do you think this is one and done?
Yes, with the
Mm.
99% iffy because like if they're gonna do Donna X, and then they're also doing a separate line with more X Forces coming, more Donna X is coming. So you may get a Juggernaut, but perhaps a different iteration of the character.
Hmm.
So it could be different pose, it could be different color scheme you may not like. I mean, so it's so. I would probably say I'd wait unless you come across this at like a yo, I gotta buy it price. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I gotta buy it price.
And when you do wait and it does come out, it'll be easily 60% more expensive than this. So factor that in.
Yeah.
A piece like this big of a bigger
Oh yeah,
character
yeah, yeah.
with a modern new release, you're talking.
16 at least.
Yeah. If
Yeah.
it's an XM, yeah.
I put like my fist against his fist, and like, yeah, it's as big as my fist, man. This is a huge piece.
Yeah,
Do it.
it's so crazy how, like, you fall into a slippery slope as a collector, man. Every time I told myself I would never ever spend $1,000 on a piece, like, not even. And then the one piece that pushed me over, the, like, all it took was one piece. Once I bought one piece at that price, it was fine. Like, I could buy other pieces, and it's so messed up. I just took that one piece, and it was Prime One that broke me. They gave me Goku in quarter scale. I saw that price. Oh, who would buy that? Who's dumb enough? And then they wrote low stock alert on something that's like over 4,000, and I'm like, okay, I'm dumb enough. I'm buying it.
You got me. You got me.
Yeah.
Remember, this is Buck, the guy who told you you can wait.
Yeah.
Oh man. But, they announced the ES, and it was so large, and I'm like, so that many people want this, you know? And then it got to the low stock. And now there's people that were laughing at the price back then, like a couple years ago. They can't find it for sale anywhere. And the ES is almost 7,000, I think, or like it's almost 6,000 to 7,000. And that's crazy, right? And it's already sold out. It hasn't even shipped out to everybody yet. Yeah, because you're like a one-third boy, man. Back then I was like only quarter scale. And those are the better days before we started seeing like the crazy prices of today. Back then, like quarter scales were like $500, 520,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
for, and you get like the male statues would be like 520, the female statues could be like 490 or 50, around or 500 when I started collecting, and the prices just keep climbing, climbing, and now we're at 600 at the that's the default price.
Yeah. Um, to keep going with the top, like today's episode is basically topics and like just considering pictures, but
Mhm.
I also asked you guys to ask a couple questions. And Cash, this was your question, right?
Yeah, man. It's crazy because like you know what's coming out, and depending on the company, you know how long it's gonna take. Usually, if it's sideshow, a year tops, most likely 9 months. XM, it could be anywhere from 2 months to 9 months. You know what I mean? You just, hey, Nightcrawler tomorrow, be ready. All right,
Just give
300
my money,
yes,
man.
yeah.
Yo,
It,
XL was
you
like,
never know,
hey
man.
yo,
So it makes me think like if you're sitting down in your room, right, and how far ahead do you actually plan? Like how far is it healthy to plan to where like you're like if there's three pieces you know, but you know you can only get two based on space, but that third piece doesn't actually come out for another year and a half, but those other two pieces are coming out within the next 2 months. Don't you still buy those two pieces that you want because they come out now and don't worry about the next one that comes out in 2 years? Maybe it gets delayed again. Maybe it never comes out. Like anything could happen to where that's kind of unhealthy and you're leaving a spot open for a year that something else could go there and enjoy.
I think, like, so what you're saying is, if like you set a spot for like a piece is coming out way down the line, and now you're like looking at two other pieces you want, and you're like, why don't I just buy these because they're gonna come out now,
Mm-hmm.
right? I would still consider that as planning your collection. Like, I would still consider that as part of planning your collection, and I would say it is very healthy to be planning your collection, because the moment you stop that, that's when you start looking for random shit to buy. Um, and I'm sure we've all been there. The moment we don't have like a vision, we start buying like random stuff that we see that just like you get a maybe like FOMO hits you. You see like a good deal or something on Facebook, and all of a sudden you're like, "Ooh, I don't want to miss out on that. I want to grab that." But if you were like planning stuff and oh, this is going there, my money's committed to this, you're making better long term decisions versus buying something you're just gonna sell like in like 3 months. And so I think it is very healthy to be planning your collection.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much where I'm at now. I think it also helps more when you have like a more narrowed focus because you're not new anymore to where you have the craze of just oh this crap actually exists. You know what I mean? Like now you're to the point where
Mm.
like you know what you like. And one thing I even had to learn more recently is not everything you're interested in you need in a statue form. Some
Mm-hmm.
things you can just enjoy on screen. You can just enjoy on book, on whatever musically, whatever. Like you don't need a John Elton or Elton John rather statue. Excuse me. You don't need an Elton John
Mm-hmm.
statue or whatever artist you like, Eminem, whatever. Like you can enjoy things, and that's really why I was asking the question. Like, what's really healthy? I mean, I know for myself, like Purgatory, I'm getting Vampirella, I'm getting Pumpkinhead, I'm getting like I know my whole sci-fi horror wall to the T of what I'm getting, and it's planned out over the next year and a half. But like Buck said, it actually makes it better and money wise because you're not just spending money. But then I was like, yo, maybe I can get this from Sideshow. These two pieces would be like 1,500 total, and I could get them and enjoy them for that time. But then it's also like you're just gonna go back to selling them later and losing out on money and all that hassle. So I get what you're saying, Buck.
Do you
What
do
you
you,
just said, like I do the same thing. If it's sideshow, I don't pre-order it normally. I'll just wait for it to start shipping before I buy it.
do you think the idea or the question of fear of missing out comes into your decision on buying the statue? Like,
Slightly, but I think it goes back to Matt's Fopku with fear of price going up. Because think about it, Thanos on Throne, perfect example, or even the what was that that Joe had shown, the Batgirl, right? If we knew that even no matter what the piece was, freaking Maestro, whoever, it was always going to be the same price in the aftermarket. You might take that chance of, yeah, I'll just get it on eBay later for the exact same price. Like, you might take that chance, whether it's used or new. It wouldn't even matter because it's the same price. So I think it's more a fear of price going up than anything. Because you can get whatever statue you want in the aftermarket. You just have to pay a premium price or it may be broke.
Yeah. Yeah.
It strikes me as funny because you guys are collecting at what I would call almost like a golden age of collecting, because there are so many brands to choose from. The quality level is so high, and you've got a constant stream of new stuff on social media, and it's this whole hobby is on steroids now compared to when I was. Like I just basically went to the store, I went to the LCS, I saw a Batman Black and White or something like that, or a Little Diamond Select, picked it up, then I graduated to Bowens. I've been collecting for many years, and I never looked at it with a plan, as if there was an end game. It was just like I'd go, if I see a piece, I would get it, and it sounds like you guys are looking at it in the sense of like checking off boxes. Like I want all these spots filled. I want these characters, and then I'm done. Are you done with the hobby? Or because if you're not done with the hobby, like mission accomplished next.
Yeah, I don't think I would ever be done. It would just more or less be like, okay, I have every spot filled. So if anything, what I'm doing is one of two things. Number one, if I already have a Scarlet Witch, if they make a new one that blows that one out the park, I'll sell the old one, use those funds for the new one. Gotcha. Also, number two, if there is a piece that I'm like, you know what, I've enjoyed it enough to where it doesn't really fit my liking anymore, I could see selling it to make,
you could let it go,
either room for, or not even necessarily make room for something new, but just it doesn't fit my taste anymore.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like, so, hey Brent. No, I'm kidding.
You just put me in the spotlight, huh?
I feel like we're in class and we're calling you out.
I know. I was like,
Bryn's in the multiverse.
I literally was. It was in a Doctor Strange like spoiler chat. Someone was arguing. So technically, yes, I was in the multiverse.
But that's a good question, man. Healthy plan. I feel like it depends on your collection, your line. If you're collecting lines, and also if you're, Popco too. So
if I was Mr. X Rich, I wouldn't give a fuck.
Mr. X.
Oh man,
I need that 10 million from John's stream last night.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
that too.
Yeah. No, see, I don't really plan anything, but I think it's because I'm not fully committed, I guess would be the best way to say it. Like, I'm not just saying, okay, I'm just into statues. So I think I may get something here or there, but I have other things that I'm probably more committed to. So planning out space, I guess, isn't a key factor for me.
I've abandoned comics. I'm just statue guy.
Oh no!
Yeah, we'll get you, Brenton. We'll get you.
Listen to me. Comics. I always say this. Sometimes I say I should do a YouTube channel just where I do little videos of pairing the statue with the comic. To me, it's like wine and cheese, bacon and eggs. Okay, it's like they feed off each other, and each one you may enjoy, but the two of them together.
I used to do that, but not anymore, man. I've this takes up so much space. Like I had like too many short boxes and like.
Oh no! I'm just talking about focus on key
issues.
Key issues that complement the statue.
All right. Yeah.
That's what I mean. It's for display. It's great.
hmm I had that, and then I had like boxes. I'm just like, this is taking up too much space. So I've been
Yeah.
selling off. I've sold like my floppies. I sold my trade paperbacks. I've sold like my
Mm,
omnibuses.
yeah, no,
I barely have any books.
it takes up room.
Oh man.
Casual. Very nice. Didn't.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I jumped into them when it was a time when we weren't getting movies galore. So I think that was
Hmm.
a whole different world back then.
Yeah.
Because if you got a movie once like in a decade, at least with comics, you could stick with that character on a monthly basis and get new stories. Whereas, waiting for a movie that may never come is a whole different game. I mean, now the floodgates are open. You can get anything.
hmm
That affects comics and it affects statues too.
Yeah.
This next question, I don't remember who this one was, but it says, does a combination of price and ES justify the definition of a collectible? Whose was that? Forget.
Yeah, that was me there.
Okay.
Yeah, because I just wanted to know, like, and it kind of like touched on like when you first see something, does it speak to you? So I kind of feel like that's made buying stuff a lot easier for me after Pudgy had said that, to me. And it does make it a lot easier, and it doesn't matter about the price, whether it's low or a higher ES or it has a EX or just collector's edition. If it speaks to me, it's something I'm okay with no matter what, and it does justify it in my mind. If somebody wanted to see a really good collectible, even with the higher ES, I'm showing them Silver Surfer and Scarlet Witch as one of my top ones to show them. Of course, I'm going to show them Green Goblin from XM as well as Predator from Prime One, but those are going to be one of the first sideshow ones I show them.
Yeah. And they're high ESs, if no one knew, right?
They're high
So,
ESs, but I love them. I love them.
Does this piggyback onto the maybe conversation of companies like Sideshow versus XM or Prime One? Because isn't this kind of what that's comparing? If you have Sideshow with a low price and a high ES versus those other companies with a high price and a low ES.
Hmm.
So is
Yeah.
it saying like, are those companies more collectible than maybe a Sideshow, which may be more common, you may say, a more common statue?
There's some pieces from those companies. They low ES like it doesn't mean shit, man. If like it means something. Sorry, let me not say that. But depending on the piece, like it's all about supply and demand. Like there's some that Rogue that Casuals got. I don't know how much he got it for, but it was probably way more than like retail, maybe. But like for the most part, things are gonna go up in price, right? Depending on how much it is in demand. And so like you could get a really expensive statue, but if you can't find anyone to buy it from you later
Yep.
on, then like yeah, you're not gonna make
Don't matter.
money off that if you're trying to sell it. If nobody wants it, and you'll find that for majority of customs, it's a really high like barrier to entry, like price wise. And then when you're trying to sell it, like the number of people that want to get an unlicensed piece from you for the price you're asking, and they want to pay it up front when you got the chance to like do like installments to the commissioner,
Yep.
and you're asking for like an amount like 2 grand or 1,500 plus shipping, and you want that like in one payment. The higher that price goes, the less likely you are to find people that are willing to pay you that. And even if you were to offer a payment plan, are you still get like what are the chances someone's gonna want to buy a custom piece?
Yep.
They're not even as well produced as licensed piece, like 9 times out of 10.
Definition of, I mean, if you're talking strict definition of a collectible, I don't think ES really has anything to do with it more than the subject matter. I mean, something that is attractive to a niche market that is only available in a niche kind of store makes it a collectible. If you want to talk about strict, we're not talking about value, just talking about definition of a collectible. Back in the day when shopping malls were a thing, you could go to, it was like a Warner Brothers store, and people would go there and you'd get everything from little figurines to animation cells. Oh, now collectible, yes or no? Well, you couldn't get it anywhere. You couldn't go to Walmart. You went to the Warner Brothers store and got this one specific item.
I agree with you because our guy
Mm-hmm.
J Rob has a bunch of stuff from Warner Bros.
Mm-hmm.
You can't get that now, so that is a collectible.
Okay, and that's
You can't
that's a
find it.
collectible, and then that's also collectible because of things that happen down the line,
Hmm.
rarity. Baseball cards when I was a kid, we bought them, and then at the end of the year was a new season, new players. The old ones were considered kind of disposable. You didn't want them anymore. The stats on the back were outdated. You wanted the new stats, so they became playthings. Kids before me used to take baseball cards and stick them in like the spokes of the bicycle because as they pedaled down the street, it made a noise.
Hmm.
Okay. So now that was a Johnny Bench or a Hank Aaron or somebody like that that got destroyed because it was in somebody's bicycle spokes. So now, decades later, those things are collectible just because they survived. You got the survivors of that hobby. Now people buy stuff and encapsulate it immediately. So, as an older person, I look at the modern day collectible and I say, you've eliminated one thing that makes something collectible in itself is its rarity. It's a surviving example.
Yeah,
So, you know,
that makes perfect sense because King had spoke on that perfectly when it comes to comics. Like when it comes to a comic, the first thing you do has to be bagged and boarded. It can never be
Yeah.
touched.
yeah,
It can never be
Yeah.
opened. It's immediately a 9.8,
yeah,
but there's a million of them, to therefore like
yeah. No,
I get what you're saying. Old school versus new school. I get what you're saying.
You can
there's a collectability there that's beyond the modern collectible.
you could collect anything. There's people that collect seashells, bro. Like
Exactly.
Yeah.
it
And
doesn't matter.
anything,
You
yeah.
can collect anything. It seems like there's a question of like like value to other people, and in that regard, it simply comes down to supply and demand.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Mm-hmm.
it's it's if anything is a collectible if you want to collect it. If you're building a line of things that are within the same like genre or like if they're the same kind of thing, you can collect it. But the moment like you're thinking about value to other people, you can have something that maybe to 10 different people they're like, wow, I would pay 20 grand for that.
Yeah.
But if yeah, if you can't like if nine of those people already have the thing, and then there's five on the market, and there's just one guy you are all trying to sell to, you guys are gonna have to start saying, can't sell that for 20 grand. If one guy offers it for 20 grand, you need to pawn yours off like to that same guy, and you're gonna like lower your price because if you're trying to just sell it to someone, it's or if there's not that many people looking, you put a statue up for sale, it's a custom. How long are you willing to wait for like someone who is gonna come along the line, like come down and pay the price you're asking?
Mm.
Are you gonna wait for like 5 months, or you just
You
serious?
guys wait.
You want to get rid of this like in a few weeks? And so it's all a matter of like if you bought this thing thinking you're gonna sell it like soon, and you're gonna get a return on investment. And that's not to say like people are buying to sell, but I'm just saying like at whatever point you decide to sell,
Mm-hmm.
you list it and it's for a high price. The thing is, most people are not rich in the hobby. And
Mm-hmm.
so, like, who's gonna pay the price you're asking for, and like they're gonna pay it up front?
Nah.
How fast do you want to get your money?
PayPal paying for. Come on.
If it's
Mm.
something you need the money for like now, you're
Yeah.
gonna fold very fast once you put you.
I I agree with what you're saying there, and Pudgy is right. Like a lot of times with those deposits, I'll use a PayPal paying for because I'm able to like get you your money and do my own payment plan.
Mm-hmm.
So I've done that
Mm-hmm.
for a life size bust I'm getting. I mean, you get your money, I get my product. It's a win-win. But you're right. I mean, in a lot of these deals that I've been finding, if it wasn't for them being able to allow me to do a payment plan, I wouldn't be able to get the deals. But I was fortunate enough to find buyers to where they don't actually need the money. They're just selling them because they don't want the statue. So they're
Hmm.
like, yeah, take your time, whatever.
Exactly.
Just be communicative.
You know what I appreciate about the whole topic of this one, like as you guys were talking about it, is like not maybe once, but like companies weren't brought up. Sideshow, J&D, Prime
Yeah,
One,
nothing to
because
do.
take those names out of the equation, like
Yeah.
it comes back to like the premise of like what's a collectible. If the name
What?
behind something is collectible to you, then you're not a collector to me. Like you're you're more of like I want to go for the Jordans. I want to go for like the whatever
Right.
shoes. It's like
You're
oh
you're into the brand. A
yeah
brand a
that
brand can denote quality, but a lot of people are just into the brand for the sake of flashing the brand.
mhm.
Yeah,
In
but
all walks of life.
to even play,
You know.
I want to play devil's advocate there and say that that could just be what the person wants to collect. Because for different people, different things are alluring to them, and
Yep.
like have
Exactly.
collecting something that other people covet is like a good is like some it's part of what gives a collectible intrinsic value for some people. And I'm not going to begrudge people that if someone like sees something and because other people really want it as well, along with the fact that they can also appreciate it for like other qualities, I'm not going to say like the person's not a real collector. I think
Hmm.
they just have different value systems than me.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't value things the same way they do, and they can still collect for their own reasons. The only thing I just like definitely I see as a gray area and like I don't like generally is like exploitative prices. So you're buying something just to like exploit the scarcity later on.
Hmm.
Is like
Hmm.
I don't think too highly of it, but at the same time, you know, I'm the kind of person that if I want something and someone's selling it for a high price later, and I think the price is exploitative, I won't buy it. I don't care. I'm not gonna get it. It means it's not for me,
Hmm.
right?
So
And I missed my chance to get it at retail.
does that mean we can say that um, price doesn't necessarily mean collectible? Because price is mainly set by desirability, right?
Hmm.
If you can
Yep.
ask
Yep.
you can ask somebody to pay 10,000 for something, but if nobody wants it, what's the point? No one's going to do that.
Amber Heard's turd is one of one. What's it worth to you?
Oh man,
It's
You
funny.
know.
Well, but because collectible stuff, how big are like old McDonald's toys now?
Yes.
Those were a
Happy
dime a
Meals
dozen.
toys.
The
Yes.
Exactly.
cup.
Now
Yeah.
The
those are
Burger King
collectible.
cup
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah.
with the Disney stuff. Yeah. Pocahontas, bro. I still had them, man.
And Nintendo games are getting really hot now, like original Nintendo games and Super Nintendo. Like that stuff's
Hmm.
getting pricey now.
But
Yeah.
what's amazing, not to go down a rabbit hole with that, but what's amazing to me now is I see like your generation is having the nostalgia for video games. Okay. But what's amazing to me now is there's a whole subset where people are grading them and encapsulating them. Now, there's like a CGC thing for cartridges, for cartridge games.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Oh
And
wow,
that,
yeah.
and I'm like, wow, really? Okay. You know, I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I've
What's up,
really
Brandon?
been I'm back and forth on like the whole CGC comic thing. Cuz like I don't always agree with just like let's slab every new book out there. Like that
Right.
like there should be some kind that's probably why these companies are backed up and they're waiting like a
Yeah.
year wait time. It's because everybody's just throwing everything out there. It's not even an important
Hmm.
book. It's just like, oh, I just want this.
It's like they're treating the grading service more as just a way of encapsulating it for display.
Yep.
But that's the
Yeah. Yeah.
thing. That is what a lot of people are doing. That's why I wanted CGC stuff. I like the aesthetic. I'm not even
Yeah.
kidding,
But
right?
you can get cases like that without sending it away, and
I've
you know what I
I've
mean. If
looked into it and they don't look as good. I'm like
yeah.
I don't trust me, I don't want to pay
Hmm.
CGC prices to slap a
Hmm.
comic. But like it's one of the better looking cases. I know
Hmm.
like right now CBCS also has a good looking case, right? But like still, there's a lot of people that are slabbing comics because they look good, like
Brand
in the
new,
slab.
brand new, right off the
Yep.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
know a
like I
lot of people that just
Yeah.
slab a comic because they like the cover.
Hmm.
I'm sure you guys know people like that as well, right?
Sure,
Yeah, yeah.
And
nothing wrong with it.
yeah,
and I
and
think
and
there's probably I've been guilty of some of that as well because there's they're like, oh, I think this is cool, and I think with newer stuff, I like to go for signed books. Like if I'm gonna get something
Oh,
and
that's different. You gotta
get it,
preserve that, Britton.
yeah, get it
Hmm.
graded. I
Yes,
that's the kind of
No,
books I
seriously.
like to preserve for
yes.
CGC. Is I prefer yellow labeled signed books because I don't know. I've always been like
It's
an autograph guy. Like those
Yeah.
yeah,
have meant something to me.
excellent.
As a collector, I've never been able to see the intrinsic value in a signature.
Damn,
I
what a time for Danny to come in the chat.
I know.
Wait, does Danny feel the
Uh,
same way, or you don't
uh,
love signatures?
He
he,
doesn't like them. He feels like they mainly take away from the cover art.
Oh, I feel
Oh, because
exactly the same way.
he wants the virgin ones. That's why.
I
I
could
Yeah,
see that too.
but I
Listen,
feel like
I have a Hulk 181 that I bought from childhood, and Herb Trimpe was at a con,
Mhm.
and I brought my book with him, and part of me wanted to have Herb Trimpe sign my book, but part of me was like, no, I don't want to mess up the cover, even though it's Herb Trimpe's signature on. I didn't want to mess up the cover, so I elected not to. I just went up, said hello to him, said thank you, love your work, and that was it. Because I didn't want. So I understand that
Yeah,
totally.
I
And
think
what for
that's
me, it's not about
different
increasing
though.
the value.
yeah,
I think that's different though, because when you get those guys like we're talking about, George Perez just died yesterday.
hmm
So I think if you're getting like a book signed by George Perez, like that means something. Like Neil Adams, who just passed away too. Those are like juggernauts in the industry. Like Herb Trimpe, maybe a lot of people don't know him that are younger, but he was huge too.
He
yeah,
was
You
huge.
want Stanley, Jack Kirby, those kind of guys. You're willing to like, potentially mess up your cover art a
Let
little
him make.
bit because
Yeah,
they're those are very important
yeah.
guys when
Hey,
it came to
dude.
building this industry.
I'll put it
Yeah.
here for
Stanley
you.
can sign wherever he
Come
wants,
on,
man.
man. Now,
Right here.
another thing that makes them nasty
Right.
is that they just take these massive markers with like huge tips, and they like give you this nasty chunky
It's like
signature.
it's like they're tagging your
They
book.
just go like this,
Uh,
they don't care. There's no like finesse put into it. It looks so ugly, and they put it like you have a comic cover, and like there's a character's face. The dude just scrawls this rubbish across the character's face, and it's
yeah.
like, yeah, here's your comic. My
Yeah.
signature is now like the focal point of the whole thing. It
What's funny is in the early days of Comic Cons and collecting like books, when you would bring your book to be signed by an artist, it was customary they would open the book and sign on the bottom of the inside first page.
Yeah, no, that
Okay,
makes
and
sense.
that was customary, and for some reason, somehow it got away from that. I kind of wish that that was the norm, or maybe
Mhm.
signing the back. You could have the book slabbed, have the
Yeah,
artwork in the front, and have his signature on
beautiful.
the back.
Oh
Sign
Yeah,
in the
mess
yeah.
up
back
that
That
too.
ad. Nobody cares about the
Yeah,
ad.
yeah. Who cares about selling bean sprouts online to get your bicycle?
Exactly, man. Because like when they deface the art, even like you mentioning Neil Adams, like I would want a Neil Adams original art piece. I don't care about his handwriting. Like it does nothing for me,
Right.
right? I want to get the original art from the artist. And like I'm the kind of person where
No.
I care about the work, not the
Yeah.
person. Like
Neil Adams artwork though.
yeah,
That's
I wouldn't even care about like meeting Neil Adams in person if I
yeah.
had his artwork. I don't want to meet him. I don't care about what he is as a person. You get what I'm saying? I
Mm,
love his work. I want his work. Like, and so him like signing it and all that other extra stuff, like on an art piece, the more like formal it is, you get the white borders and stuff. Yeah, I'm fine with an artist going in with a pencil or like a pen and like a fine tip pen, and like
mm,
on the margins, on the border, give me your signature, or even if it's within the image but on the edge.
yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
these dudes take like massive markers, man, and they just
Because it's
go.
like next, next.
Yeah,
When there's
exactly. They
yeah,
don't care. It's
yeah,
just like $50 to them, and it's because it means nothing. They just like put their like ink in there, and they don't care. There's no finesse to it. There's no. I mean, sometimes some artists will talk to you as they're signing. They look you in the eye
yeah.
while
You
they're
got to meet
doing
the right
their.
guy.
You know, but like still,
Because
I don't
See,
see any
So
value in it.
so Buck, you actually had this topic to bring up. Artist proof and scales. What's your thoughts on them recently? So, as you guys know, Tweeterhead brought out some like 35, 50 edition artist proof one, and then scales. XM XM is doing it. Oh, you want to explain it, Buck, really quick?
Yeah. So like artist proofs. You guys, if you've noticed recently, Tweeterhead they brought in artist proofs for the Poison Ivy statue, and it's basically just the exclusive. And there, it looks like just a way to sell 50 more exclusive Poison Ivy statues. In fact, it doesn't look like that is what they're doing. Just selling 50 more Poison Ivy exclusives on Sideshow's website. I guess do you want to tackle that first and then hit the scales with
Yeah,
X-Men?
that's
All
fine.
right.
So the artist proofs, like
Mm-hmm.
my whole thing with those is it's a scam.
Do, do
If
you
you
do you
guys
want me
had,
to explain what an artist proof is? Like
yeah, like for the people that don't.
traditionally, what an
Mhm.
artist proof is supposed to be. It comes from making prints, and it's supposed to be like the artist checking the like recreation of their work of the original and trying to see that it closely matches the original. That is the purpose of an artist proof. For you to say like there's 50 artist proofs is fucking bullshit. Like
God.
it doesn't make any sense. There's no like that doesn't make sense. Just
Mm,
adding, but you know the funny thing, everyone does that BS. A lot of people in different industries like do that BS. Now artist proof has been like disfigured and it's been like morphed into
would
some shit to just sell
Coined.
more ES,
but
and
would
then you
you
ask for more money.
would you say though that like what you're explaining is a true concept of an artist proof? Like there shouldn't be 50, but
Yeah,
when you're talking about something that's mass produced, it's almost like an artist proofing of the line before it's distributed.
that's
You know,
not.
if you're gonna make 500 of them, we're gonna do 50 artist proofs.
I
See
get
how
you.
the assembly process
Yeah,
is, and
even then, that's not the case. That's not what they do. The
mhm,
whole goal is just to see that they can produce it, right? So
mhm,
at most, they'll make maybe a proof for the studio. Let's say like Sideshow's making a piece. They make a proof for Sideshow. They make a proof for whoever the license holder is. Send it
mhm.
to them, and like maybe even the artist that sculpted it or painted it.
A few,
You
yeah.
send, but like 50. We're the 50 people that are proofing the work. Like, that doesn't make sense.
Janice in accounting. Right. Okay.
It's so
Ralph in
bullshit.
the carpool.
I
Okay.
Yeah.
wonder if
And
that's
and
like going to DC executives and stuff that are
no,
like
it's
the
not.
higher
It's
ups,
not.
like they
But
always
that's the
get a
thing,
piece
right?
of that.
People have to
So like
check
so like
off,
so like think
right? Sign
about it,
off on.
right? So you think like you send a proof to those people and what they send it back to be sold to people to like customers. That's it's bullshit. That's not what happened. They just made these statues to sell them to people.
Yeah, like
Like
Hmm.
Danny
that
says, commercialized AP.
So it's kind of duping collectors, I guess, to think you're getting something unique,
oh
and
man, you
they're
don't
just
know, Jesse.
Mm.
It pisses me off. Like I hate it when companies do this kind of underhanded shit. Like, and the thing is, I never had any intention of collecting that statue. I don't own it. I'm not even in on any Twitter headlines. But the very idea, like, claiming that it's this, you add that name and they have the audacity to like charge more. I don't know what the exclusive cost, whether it cost more before, but I would say the AP right now costs more than the collector's edition. There's so much about it just seems scummy to me. And that, that ES of 50 and saying AP next to it, it is BS.
Mm.
This is just a re-release. That is
Yeah.
what it is, and it's
Yeah.
a re-release. It's a way to re-release the statue.
That's like I just did that with the tweeter head yesterday. Tweeter head poison ivy. They
Mhm.
miraculously came out with a AP of 50,
Yeah,
which
Mm.
which on a personal level I could give a shit about that. It was just a matter of fact that there were 50 pieces available, which
hmm
to me are now the exclusive that
hmm
I missed the opportunity of. So I jumped on it to get the tweeter head poison ivy exclusive. There was an
yeah,
opportunity, but I feel you when you say really 50,
and
50
that
artist
and
proof.
exactly, and that's
Mm-hmm.
that's it. That's the exact piece that I'm talking about that comes to
Mm-hmm.
mind.
Yeah.
And on the other like level of scumbaggery on top of that, is that it is not announced at the same time the piece goes up for sale. It magically comes out later on after, like, I'm sure they sold out of EXs. I know it's like,
Yeah.
man, guys, we're leaving money on the table. We need to squeeze some more out of these
Well,
collectibles.
it came out right before, uh, I think the day before they announced there's a poison ivy variant
Yeah.
coming
God,
out.
I'm so disgusted with this company
So
right now. Like,
so I said to myself, it's probably going to be she's probably going to be light green skinned instead of flesh tone.
yeah,
So I went with the flesh tone because
and they do like,
man,
so like, even that variant nonsense, man. It's it's kind of icky to me. Like, it depends on how different it is, but like, that I can kind of like let slide. It's not as gross as this AP stuff where they just re-release. They add like 50 more to the ES after the fact. It's not even at the same time. It's after the fact. If it was at the same time, it would just be a stupid way to, like, get money out of people. um because for some reason people value that, like, that word AP, but it's the same in the line. It's like the same people producing it. It's not special. It's not painted by a special group of people. It just has it just has AP on it. It's the same statue.
Hey, Buck, I have a question for you. Let's say there's a Prime One piece that you're like looking for, like looking hard for, right? They sell out of the exclusive, they sell out of the standard one, and then they come out of an AP version of it. So you get another chance, but they only come out with 10 of them. Would that bother you, or would you consider buying that
They
AP?
they
Or
come out with 10 APs and it's a piece I want.
yeah,
I would buy it, obviously.
because the
Especially,
low
especially no,
AP.
not, I don't care about the, like, I don't care about ES on a statue. That
Oh,
is never,
AP.
yeah,
Sorry,
AP.
artist proofs, artist
Artist
proof.
proof, yeah. If like the normal version was still available, and it was the same, it was like cheaper by like $5 than the AP, I would get the normal version. I saved my $5 because it's the same statue, right?
Yeah.
I don't care about, because it doesn't do anything. They don't put anything else special in the box. Literally, the only different thing you're getting is that at the bottom where they write like the ES number, they will write AP. And like, for this is an AP that has like an edition size. Like they attach an edition size to the AP. There's places where they won't even write like an
mm.
ES. They just write AP on it, and like you don't even know how many of what you got.
But take a look at Arch's comment. Now,
Yeah.
it's take it on a serious note. He says every day, just think how much interest people would have in the hobby if there were no POs at all. So imagine if you just were constantly plugged in online to find out something's in the store. That's called 1990 art. That's basically just waiting. It's going to the dealership. Is the car there yet? The car there yet? Oh shit, the car's in the window. They're out. I can order one now. Imagine if there was no pre-ordering and you just had to wait until it was in the store and decide if you had to buy it or not. And you'd have a totally different approach to the hobby. Now it's like you can get so much and you have so many choices, and you can lock in those choices by just putting a little down and holding it till later. It's
Well, that
Yeah.
should go to Cash's earlier point where you're planning and helps you plan now.
yeah.
So
Yep.
if
Yeah.
you do it this way, you can actually plan out what you want
You
to do
can
and how you want your display to look.
you can get more.
I just say this. I don't think enough people are saying it. People are mostly just excited to get like Poison Ivy a second chance. I'll say that it's scummy that Tweeterhead is re-releasing the Poison Ivy statue. Fuck that AP nonsense. That's like EX, like whatever the former EX is before. Just add 50 to it, and like from number one, let's say it was 600 EXs before. Now like AP number one is 601. That's what it is. It's just fucking bullshit.
So just to since I learned a new word today, scumbaggery.
Wow.
I agree.
Yeah.
Honestly, like releasing those like with 50 is it's just it's capitalism, right? It's
Yeah.
Hmm.
but
It is just greed. Like that's what it is. and
Well,
like no, they don't want to hold themselves to their word to their word.
Scumbaggery is the loose cousin of douchebaggery.
Because
that's
like
In case
all
you
they
didn't
had
know.
to do, if they wanted to have APs, they could have like announced it at the same time that they like announced the previous one. Like when this whole thing got solicited and it was listed for pre-order, they could have had the 50 AP. It would have been a different kind of stupidity in that they're trying to get more money out of people because they'll probably cost more, or it's trying to give people a false sense of like exclusivity. But like
Hmm.
now it's just them like trying to cash in on something that's already sold out, and they're like, "Oh, guys, there's still money to be made." So who's to say they won't do this with future like pieces that have
Yeah.
sold out? I think they might even end up doing this with Hordak. I'm not sure.
Oh
Um,
yeah, I saw that too. Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Hmm.
What kind of
It is
39.
like
can
10
you
of them.
trust a company like that? Like I don't care about ES normally, but the people that do like think about that kind of bullshit. Like they just come out of nowhere and be like, "Oh, this is." So why don't they? For if they felt like it, they could
But
release a variant tomorrow again of that same poison ivy, and all they need to do is put a mole on their cheek and say like, "This is a new statue."
So
but
this
isn't it
goes
the
back.
same thing? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
So this goes back to like the very beginning. Like they want us to PO these things.
Hmm.
Like they keep our money for like 2 to 3, no, 1 to 3 years, and then like we invest in it. We trust them. We like go forward with like all their plans, and we get the piece. We suffered a whole year, 2 years of like waiting and all that, and then come to find out 6 months later, hey, we're going to release 50 more, and this is going to go up next day.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of goes back to the point. I was like, then this is not a collectible anymore to me. This
are
is
you
like,
sure? Is
It,
it
it
collectible?
no,
Because
I
it's
think
only
it's
50 of them.
no,
Can we go to that? Can we go back to that
it's still a
conversation?
collectible,
Is this
right?
collectible now?
it is a
It,
collectible, I guess,
yeah,
but it's just
it's
I feel like I got screwed over with like
I think I
having
just
to
need to
PO.
make sure, like, I make clear what my problem with this is.
If you, re-
It's the point that they're being dishonest and they
Yeah.
lied. Because like it would be a different case if this 50 AP was announced at the same time as the other pieces,
I
and
think
then
if you really want to make a collectible, buy 50 of them, and then smash 49 of them,
There you go.
and then you could go. I got one of fucking one, and I know it because here's the other 49,
on the website it only lets you buy
and post it.
Well,
That,
one for each account.
I think
that
Buck's definitely right on this. That you know they're just trying to get more money, and I think as collectors, when you see AP, like that's supposed to have more meaning to us. Like it's
hmm.
supposed to urge us to go out and get this now. This is more important than the release you did earlier.
Right.
This one is like a higher level, so it's just really a dupe for collectors to be like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, I need that. That's really exclusive.
Yeah. I see it more as an inventory cull. It's just a matter of the fact I jumped on it because I wanted the exclusive and I missed the opportunity.
Yeah, I
I'm
don't
another flipper.
yeah, I don't begrudge anybody at all that buys this. My problem is completely with the company. I don't even care that they exist. My point is that my problem is that they exist after the fact, right? You need to announce this at the same time because if this, trust me, if this was announced at the same time, they wouldn't be called APs. They'd just be 50
Right.
added to the EXs.
50. Yeah. Hmm.
And but them calling it AP is because they want to sell these still, but they also
Mm-hmm.
want to rebrand without damaging the
The numbering.
exclusivity of
Right.
the exclusives that are already released. That's why they call this an AP. It's literally
Hmm.
just a separate ES of the same statue, exactly
Right.
Yeah.
the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's bullshit.
So Buck, to go to the second part, the
Mhm.
scales. Do you want to
Yeah,
explain it to everybody?
this is the same issue about re-releasing statues, and XM has done it a few times in the past already, where like they announce a 6 scale, it's done, the piece is released, people have gotten it, but now they know that there's a bunch of collectors that they don't even entertain a lot of their like 6 scale statues because it's too small. They want
Mhm.
quarter scale, and XM has started to see like how much of a difference that makes when they release a piece in quarter and sixth at the same time to the amount of money they can make. And so now so they went back on pieces that already sold out and like they'd announced. and they re-released it in quarter scale. They did it for Lobo, right? That didn't
Oh
make
yeah.
such an uproar because I mean that's not that much of a popular character. It's because they released it in quarter scale. Um, a six scale they'll release it in quarter scale. I see it as a re-release because I feel like these kind of things you have to announce them at the same time and they're being PO'd at the same time. Otherwise, it's the same shit to me, and they're just taking advantage of people. They were talking. I think Ang asked on Facebook like if people would like to see Batman Sanity in
Yeah.
quarter scale,
Uh-huh.
and I'm like, that is scummy, bro. No, you can't do it. It's
Yeah.
too late. You missed your chance. Stop it.
Well, Buck, I think the problem that's going on is ever since the whole like Tweeterhead 1614, then obviously you have not all, Tweeterhead is well XM isn't every character because obviously like the Green Lantern Cruise is in 16 but not 1/4.
Yeah, because
I
that's
think
part of
this
the
is gonna
older
be the
line.
new. I think this is gonna be one of the newer norms between XM and Tweeterhead in terms of
Mm-hmm.
like,
Doing
hey,
both.
Hmm.
oh, well, is it going to be 1/4? Is it going to be a 1/6? Oh, but then the 1/6 collectors will be like, well, I want that 1/4 and 1/6, and then vice versa. So I think
Yeah.
that's the new
No,
norm.
no, no. That's fine. Release them at the same time,
You
like they're
say in the
doing right
beginning,
now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Don't go back to the past for pieces that you've already announced, they've sold out, and then you re-release them in quarter scale. I think it's
Okay,
gonna be scummy for someone. Sorry, go ahead.
the devil's advocate because I collect any and all scale.
Hmm.
Okay, and I find that generally from my interaction with the community, I'm in the minority in that regard. Most people are dedicated to a scale. They like that uniformity. They like the impact of the larger scale or what have you. So when they come out with something in 1/6 and also in 1/4, since from my experience, the vast majority of the community doesn't care about that other scale. So how does it devalue your piece or how does it detract from you if somebody who likes a different scale is able to have an equivalent display in their home?
It's not devaluing the piece. And that's the
Okay.
thing. I'm not talking about value now.
But
It's
well, when I say devalue, I don't mean pure monetary value. I mean in the
right.
sense of why would it grind your gears if
Yeah.
if you get a piece in quarter scale and you love it and you're a quarter scale collector, and then
Mhm.
that piece is now available to somebody who collects 1/10 or 1/6? Why does that piss in your Cheerios?
It's the whole fact that they're lying to you in terms of when they tell you these are limited edition collectibles, right?
Yeah.
If they brought these pieces out with no ES, fuck it. Then like, yo, go ahead, have
Mm-hmm.
release it in like third scale for all I care. But the
Mm.
company like gives you a certain criteria for the thing you're buying, you buy
Well,
it.
okay. Do you begrudge a record company because they release a song in MP3 and CD and cassette tape
They don't set an
and
ES.
whatever?
They don't set an ES on those. They
But
don't.
it caters to audiences that wouldn't normally cross over.
They don't like I'm saying they don't set an ES. They don't tell you it's a limited edition collectible. They don't tell you that it has a set ES of whatever of X.
Mm-hmm.
It's that is that deception there because there's gonna be people that might compromise and buy a six scale, and then
Well,
now later down the line they're
is
like, sorry, go ahead.
well, isn't it your perception though? Because your perception is okay. That numbered. There's only 500 of this in this scale. Now, if they come out with another 500 in 1/6 scale, it's there's only 500 in that scale. You know,
Yes,
I
but it's the same statue but like they've it's just different scales and that's because like
mm-hmm,
I'm kind of like you I don't care what scale I collect if it's a nice piece I like I'll
mm-hmm,
get it but
right.
it's the same piece they just increased the size or reduced it right and they tell you that it's limited in and like it might be different other people might not give a shit I think it's a re-release and again the reason why like you have to understand that this is not an objective statement I'm
Mm-hmm.
making a moral statement right now which means it's
To the
right and
to their
wrong
business practices, yeah.
exactly right and wrong when
Mm-hmm,
I'm talking about right and wrong can never be an objective thing it's
mm-hmm,
like it's a moral statement and
mm-hmm.
so like it's a matter of like how I feel about what they're doing And I'm telling you
Gotcha.
why I think it's wrong. It's because there has to be a lie. And the lie is that this is all there that exists of this thing. When you release it as six scale and you only announce six scale, you tell people this is all that exists of this character with this design that's
Right.
sculpted like this, and it's only going to be in six scale. And then you break that promise later on by releasing it in quarter scale.
See, I don't know if they even thought about that though. Maybe they're just like, well, we got a lot of complaint from quarter scales that skipped on our 1/6 piece because it didn't fit what they collect, and now we just want to go and give them an opportunity to collect it as well in the scale that they collect.
Trust me, they know.
I
They
think the
know.
biggest example of this is the Tweeterhead Joker on Throne. They're
Yeah.
getting a bunch of backlash for it.
Well, do you
People
think
don't
it's
like
Right.
it,
because they
and
want
they
to
know.
double dip? They want you to
They
buy the
do,
one
yes,
sixth
they want a
and
double dip.
then get rid of that and buy the one
Well,
quarter. So they're
it
Well,
actually
no,
like
no, no.
making
That's
two
not never
sales.
necessarily what that I mean when they want to double dip. They release something and they set the criteria for it. They say a six scale and a certain amount, and then when they see that there was money left on the table, wow, so many people were interested in this like at quarter scale, but we failed to notice that demand before we set the exclusivity by saying it's only going to be at six scale. We didn't want to take the risk, but now we've put it out there and we made a promise, and now we're going to break that by releasing it in quarter scale, right? And because it's exactly the same statue, it's just been scaled up. And so you're getting the exact same thing. And when they do that, they need to announce it at the same time. I don't mind when they announce quarter and six
Okay.
scales at the same time, but when they announce something, it's like, I mean, fuck. Let me give you an example. Imagine like the Thanos on Throne Sideshow re-released it in one over 3.999 scale.
Sorry.
Is that for me?
He's like, don't be
Re-release.
talking
hey,
Oh
Thanos on throne.
Yeah, yeah. But
hey, hey,
imagine
hey,
that.
Buck. I agree with you, but when
You
they
feel
made
it's
Joker on
different
Throne
enough?
in 1/4, I was happy.
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying, and if they went back and did the same with that Scarecrow, I'd be happy. And I've said to a Milcar that Scarecrow is amazing, and the fact that it's so different from Tweeterhead versus Sideshow, but you're doing the same exact character in two different iterations. I would love that Scarecrow if it was one, if they did it in 1/4 as well as the 1/6 that they're currently doing.
But
You know what?
So I get your point.
If they want to do that, you know what they could do? They can say that it doesn't have a set ES, and it's not a they can do away with all of that shit, and they can make as many pieces as they
So like
want
a
in any
Sideshow
scale they
bust.
want at any time. Exactly. If they brought a sideshow bust out like in a different scale all of a sudden, like 2 years later,
Okay, well
are you
here's
gonna
a
complain? You're not gonna be like, They never said anything yet. They never made any promises of
here,
exclusivity to me."
here's a question for you then, because PCS they actually did that. They came out with a statue, and for Halloween they said, "Oh hey, we're gonna make the gray screen variant of Michael Myers just for Halloween," and they made like
Hmm.
50 of them. Is that kind of like an exception because it's like the time of
I
the
think
year?
I think that's kind of gross too. But like, it's
Really?
it's like, and if you're trying to put these things on scales, like, what is nastier? I would say re-releasing in a new scale is worse than like releasing a color variant. And color variants, depending on how different it is, it can be. It's like, I feel like, what's the words, the phrasing they use for like fair use, and when you take something, it might be transformative enough. Like changing the colors, it can be different enough that it
Different
feels
enough to
like
be
to make it feel like it's a different
different.
statue versus, you look at this shit, it's the same shit, they just scaled it up, they just made it bigger, like, and there's a lot of people that want bigger,
Well,
right? But like, you told them that it could only be small, and like, oh man, it's the only logo that's on a bike that I could get. I'm gonna compromise and just get the six scale, and then they come out with quarter scale later on. You might be kind of happy, that, oh, okay, it's in quarter scale now, but like, why they lie to me?
So now is this a matter of, first of all, this is like a new moment in collecting where these companies are doing this, where they're actually dabbling in both scales at the same time and everything. Now we've accepted this kind of treatment from Prime One, where a Batman comes out and it's blue, and after you spent $1,000 on it, then it comes out in black. And we now have been like abused spouses that are used to getting our smacking. Now we're just used to, well, Prime One will just change the color, and yeah. And so I can still see the movie. Let's go out, honey. You know. So now we've been bitch slapped into agreeing with the fact that Prime One will do one color, and then in 6 months they'll do the other color, and that's okay.
Yeah.
So we're accepting of that. It's the same thing.
Like you heard what I said. I told you when Ash brought that up, I said I also think it's scummy.
Yeah, no. I'm
It is,
I'm just saying that.
So you love Mr. X's video.
Which one?
Which one? I don't know if I seen
Prime
it.
One pricing, just the
Prime One
Oh,
pricing?
yeah.
yeah.
You know,
you thought
like
this
if you saw my comment on that, I agree
I
with
did.
him on
I
so
did.
much. But like, you know, it just like the only thing I disagreed on was the reasoning. Like I just don't think like aftermarket is affecting them that much. Like the aftermarket has been crazy for years now. They didn't just all of a sudden realize, like after COVID, they didn't just all of a sudden realize they can be like. I know a lot of people like to think companies are evil, and that like all of a sudden they're like, we're gonna take advantage of this COVID and we're gonna really dial up the prices. It seems implausible that all of a sudden corporations become that much more evil, right? Then they weren't just that evil already, and they didn't find other reasons to increase the price before, like at least at this rate. So
Never
like,
underestimate the possible evil of corporations. But go ahead.
I'm with you on that. But like, it's like how you know. I feel like it has to have been always part of their nature. Versus like Square Enix, when I saw the pricing on the Final Fantasy, if
14,000.
anyone else, if you notice other people that know Square Enix, they're like, "This is Square Enix. What did you expect?"
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
like even it's kind of crazy even for them, but at the same time, it's a very Square Enix thing to do. And so like, yeah, some corporations, it's in their nature.
It's in their nature.
Yeah, but it's just that this didn't seem to be in these companies' natures like before now.
Right.
But one thing that also makes me want to kind of entertain that idea is because I see a company like Queen Studios, and they're charging $500 for something
Yeah.
that we would be like, wow,
Yeah, yeah.
for a quarter scale. Then again, those have incredibly simple bases with almost nothing going on, and it's just a character.
Right.
But it's still
Well
a quarter
done.
scale statue, and it's extremely well done. They set their like quality bar higher than a lot of other companies.
Yes.
And so why aren't we getting the same pricing? Because like you then ask yourself, if Queen Studios can find a profit margin, they're paying for a Disney license. Why can't this other company do the same? Like they're
It's
all
what,
with factories in China. Like
It's what what's what Walton says. Money corrupts all, fellas.
it does, right?
Well,
And the honest truth is we can speculate all we want about what is causing all this. But I said the only thing you can do is you as an individual see something you don't like, don't pay for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're not going to be able to control the habits of other people who
Yep.
they might complain, and then they're going to fucking buy the thing
Uh,
regardless.
Unless you buy all 50 artist proofs and smash 49.
And
Then you got the power.
no,
So
you
do you
got the
think
power,
this
but the
multiple-
company gets what they want
They
regardless.
got the money.
Do you think multiple scales is hurting statue collecting? Do you think
No.
that they should really just stick to,
No,
you know?
I don't think it's hurting statue collecting.
I think it
just
enhances.
I just think it's disgusting. It's disgusting to re-release it. If you announce them at the same time, we're good. It doesn't hurt the like the collectible at all.
So they should never go back to it. Like once
Yeah.
they've done something,
Did-
do
did-
something
okay.
different.
Yeah, that's my
the-
stance on it.
The thing is, think of it from a businessman's point too. There's a lot of investment. Are they going to invest a lot of effort, time, and money into making two lines, making the same character, for example, in two lines, two scales, and maybe to only find out that it was big in one and the other ones just sit there and languish? So instead, they cater to social media, and people say, "Wow, I wish this was available in this scale." And when they hear that buzz, they say, "Let's make the customers happy. There seems to be a desire for this in this scale." Then they come out with it, and then people like us shit on them for coming out with the second scale.
I've told you.
So
plenty.
can you make people happy, or
Oh, you can make people happy. Just don't put an ES number then. Just go ahead, do that. And like,
Oh no, there's guys in the chat right now who'll be pissed off if there's no ES number.
Oh wow, then you can't
because
make everybody happy.
that defines collectability.
Exactly. Then you can't make everybody happy, and you have to be you either take the
There you
risk
go.
or you don't take the risk. And
Taking the risk is money, and you could end up with 500 leftover poison ivies.
So does that
Yeah.
mean you should
they
go
don't
back
they
to
don't
just
want to take the risk, and
just go
so
with one
instead they
scale?
take the hit to their credibility, and that's
At
that's the hit they get.
But
At
Walton,
the end
if
of the
they-
day, I see this all the time.
Shut up and take my money.
yes, yes,
Exactly. And that's why
Basically.
the honest thing is, as long as these habits, these things that these companies do, because like that, when Pudgy mentioned the fact that there's color variants, decides to remake the Batman, then you'll see some shit.
oh my god,
Oh man,
Jeff,
you know the funny thing?
yes.
You know the thing? It's all a matter of conditioning, and they're slowly conditioning the like populace. No one bats an eye anymore at color variants.
God, this feels like
I'm
a hot
sure,
toys
like-
discussion.
I'm sure that when that first release, when the first color variant released, everyone probably went ballistic.
Brenton's
like-
getting flashbacks.
I have like
He's got
PTSD from those.
Hot Toys PTSD.
Hey Brenton, the next topic is actually yours. I called it loyalty to sculptors or to company. What did you mean by this one?
So I was just curious as to getting into statues. You know, do you follow certain sculptors? Like, you know, there's some big names out there, whether it's like Daniel Bell or Kucherek Brothers, or you know, whoever Cash was mentioning. I'm sorry, I don't remember the name for that Thanos
No,
piece. But do you like follow the sculptors who's working regardless of what company it's through, or do you just have like a loyalty to a company? You know, like, I'm an XM guy, that's what I'm going to collect, or I'm a Sideshow guy, or Prime One, Queen, J&E, any of those things.
That's kind of difficult to answer in terms of company because Casual has his channel. You know, I have my channel. We're frequently on each other's channels, and obviously, even if you're not on YouTube, we're in the groups and we're following the latest news. Like shout out Secret Sanctuary, he's always giving like the newest updates, and so it's kind of hard because you're always following just out of the love of the art. You're always following. However, if I know an artist and I'm able to be fortunate enough to meet an artist and be able to see it through their lens, then it's like, yeah, I'm gonna follow anything that JP does, anything that Victor Garduno does, anything that Bill Carr, anybody I can name does, because they're just, you build those friendships with. Now, people I don't know, if it's a Daniel Bell piece, I'm automatically just gonna look at it just because, oh, Daniel Bell, Will Harbottle, because I know that female sculpt is gonna be what it should be. But it doesn't mean I'm gonna actually buy it. It just means it's gonna catch my eye. And that's all. That's the best answer I can give.
My answer would be no. I'm loyal to my eyeballs and my wallet. However, I think, by the way, I think some companies do a disservice by not prominently displaying who their artists are, who their sculptors are. Okay. But with that said, I treat it similarly to like movie directors. If I hear a movie's coming out and Tarantino did it, I don't like automatically everything he does, but I tend to like a lot of his stuff. So when I hear a certain sculptor's involved, I'll be more anticipatory of what's going to come out. But I'm not a total fanboy of anything or any company. It's just got to pass the eyeball test for me.
Yeah, so it's the same way for me. Like, I collect both XM, Sideshow. I have some Prime ones too. Like, if it catches my eye, or if it's a plus when it's like a sculptor that I know. But if it's a sculptor and he does another piece on the Sideshow side and I don't like it, I'm not gonna get it because I'm loyal to the sculptor. But you know, it's more preference, to be honest.
Yeah,
To move
Aiden's
things
right.
along,
Franco,
I'll just say I
Kayla.
feel to move things along. I just say I feel the same way as Pudgy and the rest of you guys. Yeah.
Mhm.
All
Yeah.
right, yeah, because I mean, I was just always curious because you know how
Mhm.
sometimes like, you know, people have loyalty to in other things like Marvel or DC. You know, some
Yep.
people are just like, you know, I'm only going to support Marvel or
Yeah.
things like that. And then it's, you know, you break it down into the creators, and then it's like, oh, it's everything Jim Lee. If Jim Lee does a cover, I'm getting that
Mhm.
because you know it's going to
Yeah.
be like a quality. There's a certain quality to it. So I didn't know if
Yes.
that was in statues as well, that people kind of followed that kind of thing. Now I could see people following
There,
more sculptors than anything.
I feel the people it happens with the
Yeah.
most are like Franco and Daniel Bell.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Daniel Bell
yeah.
especially.
Yeah.
He's
But I
very
There,
said
knowledgeable.
there,
they've
there
earned their
is
following.
loyalty may not be the right. I guess loyalty is the right word. There is loyalty though in the community for certain companies, just because some people think certain companies are the best in sliced bread and the other ones don't matter, and some people they don't even pay attention really much to what anything looks like from a particular company because they've automatically kind of dismissed that company.
I'm gonna
So
get
there is
JND
that.
tatted on my head.
What's that?
I'm gonna get JND tatted on my head.
Okay. So it does exist. Maybe not on this panel, but it does exist. That's human nature, I think.
Yeah.
Like King is loyal to XM. He
Mhm.
sold all his sideshow pieces because he trusts XM. Like he's loyal to XM. But
Mhm.
that's another collector does his thing.
Mhm.
He
Jeff's
did.
comment.
He what's that?
Jeff's comment. He agrees with you guys. The J and Ders.
The GND
JNDs.
boys, that's what we call them. The
Boys
GND
We
boys.
call them J and D boys, Jeff.
They're a boy
with,
band.
with a Z at the end. Boys.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I
So
mean, I'm sorry. I think it just gets a little more complicated because you're gonna go with who's ever making that character you like,
Mhm.
and if they do a good job, I imagine you're probably. It doesn't matter what company it is if you
Yeah.
like it,
yeah,
and it
Right.
is
1000%.
that representation
Yeah.
you want.
Yeah. That goes back to Sculptor because he did say he's getting the Daniel Bell Doom. But he loves Doom and it's Daniel Bell.
yeah.
That's Sideshow.
Well, and it
Mhm.
seems like the sculptors aren't necessarily stuck with one company, so like they
Exactly.
can go and work with
Yeah.
whoever they want.
Yeah. So the art
Mhm.
direction of the company can also affect the piece too, how it comes out. Like XM, I always constantly say I hate the black wash they put on a lot of their statues, and it just like messes with the color for me. I like prefer the vibrancy and the saturation you get with sideshow more often than
Mhm.
with you know very rarely XM will do something that's very vibrant with colors and it's just
Mhm.
working and there's barely any black wash or there's none at all like Decal Rainer.
Mhm.
So one last question for you guys. We are at 2 hours and 28
God
minutes. Great
damn.
topics, great everything. I do have a bunch of pictures to show, but are you guys still good to go another probably like half an hour, 45 minutes before we
Yeah,
go on? Yeah?
Let's
go
do
for it.
Yeah, sounds
Wait,
good.
was that the question?
Yeah.
it. Oh, casual, you don't know us. You don't know who you're talking to. We never run
You
out of
don't know
steam.
us.
Should we
Wait,
take
wait,
a
wait, wait, wait.
Should we take an intermission for snacks and beverages?
That's funny.
Hey, Pudgy, the
What's
doctor
up?
told me to stop, but I think I could do more.
Yeah, set me up.
Oh, there we
I'm
go.
gonna be here in the corner, just tying off Polystone.
So this
man.
is not the best picture to start off, but this is also like a good. I'm sure you guys know him. You guys will see him.
Oh,
Pudgy,
Rest in
you got
peace.
to meet this guy. So
Yes, sir. Twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, twice. Brief story. Basically, childhood hero. I remember being very small. Well, I don't know. I was always big even when I was small. But I remember being on the floor of the living room and reading the Fantastic Four, and I picked it up, and all of a sudden the artist had changed, and I was like, "Who is?" I was young. I mean, I was like maybe 10, maybe younger than 10, and I remember saying, "Who drew this? Look at all the detail." I was just blown away by all the tiny detail in his drawings. And it was the first time I recall actually going out of my way to look at the front and see who drew this. And I said, George Perez. So I made a point of remembering his name and looking for books with his artwork in it. And being disappointed when I would pick up Fantastic Four book and his artwork wasn't in it. So I shared stories like this with a coworker of mine who was a comic book guy. And George Perez was going to be at a local con. And he goes, you got to meet him. Come on, we're going to go meet him. And I said, I don't know, just because, in life I found sometimes it's best maybe not to meet heroes, childhood heroes. You have this preconceived notion about them and you end up being disappointed. And he goes, come on. So he forced the issue and we went, and George Perez was a total gentleman. Total gentleman. Exchanged a few words, got a few things signed, but he never rushed you off. He didn't do what Buck was talking about. Take the big marker and next. No, literally. No, there's guys like that. He took personal time with every person and he treated every person literally like on a one-on-one level, to the point where I went up to him the next year, went back, and this time I was ready. And George was big on the Hero Foundation, the Heroes Initiative, which is a support group for artists that don't have insurance, they don't have any means in their older years. So I gave him a decent contribution in the tip jar, and he was talking to me already, but his face lit up, and he was like, "Did you make a mistake? Did you want?" I said, "Yeah, I think I put in like $40. I think I put 220s in." And he jumped up and said, "What can I do for you? Do you want something else signed?" I said, "Would you take a picture?" And he goes, "Absolutely." So he posed for a picture with me and my buddy, and he just made a memorable imprint on my memory of what a good man he is. So yeah, I will miss him. And he ends up, of all things, he lives in my area, in my neighborhood. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I missed.
Someone like that with those kind of memories attached to it, I
Yeah.
feel like something like the signature means more.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's not monetary, or it's not like, I got a signature to show
Listen,
off. This is
I had everything signed, and it's signed for me, and it's no big books. I just grabbed a couple of books that were his, and I didn't have them CGC'd or nothing. I just got them signed because he signed them and he shook my hand, and that's all I need.
Yeah, I went to a bunch of Comic Cons and meeting, like you said earlier, you don't want to ever meet your heroes because you don't want to be
Disappointed.
discouraged or anything.
He could be the Buck guy.
But I did meet a lot of the artists, and I was like, wow, this guy's just signing next. Here's $20, signing next.
Yeah.
I'm glad you got a great experience with this guy. So that's
good man. It seems from judging on social media, it seems like I wasn't alone. Everybody who he interacted with, he treated all like he knew you.
I don't mean to say that in the wrong way either. This guy,
No.
George Perez,
No.
but yeah, I didn't know him like that, but yeah, just
Absolutely.
No, I've never seen anybody say a bad thing about him when it comes
Right.
to other creators or fans or anything. They just talk about how he was one of the nicest people ever.
Yeah,
There's not many like him.
Yeah, his representative said today in the Post, MegaCon, which is the Orlando con, is coming up very soon. I don't know exactly what date. But he goes, there's going to be a public memorial service
Yeah, I
at
think it's May
the
27th.
Orlando con.
I think May 27th was the date they announced.
That's
And
pretty cool.
they said it's open to anyone. You can just come and pay your respects.
Yeah.
that's cool. Anybody else have anything to share or want to say anything on it?
Rest in peace, man. He's left his impact, and that's what a lot of people want to do with the world. So
Yeah, definitely. Another one that we lost too is this guy, and I didn't know him too well, but everyone else's stories, comments, I was like, wow, this guy, he did it. He reached out a lot, so that's what I like the most is when people are praise and everything, they also give back. So reading all that stuff, I was like, dang, one of the greats,
Yeah.
You should really listen to his stories. Kevin Smith interviewed him on his podcast when it was Batman on Fat Man. I don't know if or was it Fat Man on Batman?
Yeah.
He did a multi-part interview with Neil Adams, and Neil Adams' stories on that are just amazing. It's so much
Yes.
fun to listen to, and you should really go back because he talks about, you know, it's one thing to be a great artist, in which he was, but what he did for creators to get them what they deserved, because these companies took advantage of so many people and they just left them like penniless. They just took their characters and they're like, yep, we're going to make all the money. You know, like the Schusters, when it came to creating Superman, they didn't get a lot of money for a long time. I think Joe Shuster ended up dying pretty poor,
Yep.
but
Yeah.
he fought for the Schuster family then to get kind of what was owed to them for creating
He
it.
put his career out there too because he was burning bridges as he was fighting. Basically, he's fighting with these corporations,
Yeah, I
and
mean, who's going to want to hire you if you're like always, you know, trying to get them to
yeah,
shell out money to these other
yeah.
creators?
I met not to sound like I'm anybody. I mean, I went to these cons and I sought out very few people, but I also spoke with Neil Adams, not nearly as much as I did with George, but I had heard some things that Neil might be that guy, that gruff kind of guy. No, he was a pure gentleman. We talked for 2 3 minutes, and I think I shared the story that I had him sign a few things for me, and his attitude changed when I told him I want you to personalize it and put for Joe. I said, and he looked at me and I said, "Yeah, it's for me. It's not for eBay. This is for me. I'm not getting it signed for the value. I'm getting it signed as a keepsake." And then he engaged me in conversation for a few minutes. Like his whole demeanor changed. So he was a gentleman as well.
Yeah.
It's great.
Bless this guy, and
Yep.
thankfully lived a long life.
Yeah, it was 80, I believe. So
Uh,
Um, the what I'll say quickly is I find it very fascinating that, and this goes for any walk of life, you know, any just anything. It doesn't really matter what you do, your craft, your field, just anything with art. You know, even a person who makes buildings, you know, mausoleums, whatever. It's crazy to think when you're no longer here. You know, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Your art, it lives on
carries on.
forever. It is like this man is cemented in history forever,
Yeah,
and that's crazy to think. 400 years from now, he's still alive in his art, and
hmm
that is crazy to think. So rest in
that's right.
peace, man.
That's why it's part of my. I think I know I was shocked when I got into more involvement in the statue community to find how many folks are into comic book statues but aren't really readers of comic books. So I always like to share stories just about on a personal level about how these books can impact you
Yeah,
to hopefully make somebody maybe pick up a book and check it out. It's stories. I consider them not like my fables. You know,
Well, I
words
think
to
they rub off on you, right? You know,
yeah,
you want to live up to be like these characters with their good
yes,
moral grounds, and it's
yes.
important for kids. You know, a lot of kids don't read these today.
They
It's
don't
mainly the older people that are still buying the comics, but
exactly.
they're really missing out on that.
Yeah.
You know, this is the groundwork of like what kind of person you should be or want to be and
Yes.
try to aspire to.
Yeah.
Kids are reading news stories. And the crazy thing is, I want to say a lot of people are reading manga,
hmm
but the crazy thing is, one of the biggest manga, My Hero Academia, is
hmm
clearly inspired by American comic books.
Really.
It's
Okay.
clearly inspired by it, inspired by
hmm
the X-Men and a lot of like Marvel heroes. And
hmm
the heroes from those like the heroes from that like book, from that manga, the kind of feelings that I get when I see them overcome the like adversity that's in front of
Adversity.
them,
Yeah.
it's the same thing I felt when I watched Spider-Man, when I read about him, when I read like
Yeah.
Batman, when I see like the X-Men, like I look at Cyclops and I look at Wolverine, and those characters, like the kind of stuff I see them overcome when like awful horrible stuff happens to them, and then they're able to get back up and they still do the right thing no matter how much evil was
Yes.
done to them. And I'm no longer seeing that in modern comic books. Like
Yes.
you find a few stories here and there, and I do pick up a few runs. I feel like the last run that I actually read was the Daredevil by Chip Darsky.
Hmm.
Hmm.
But like other than that, like I'm seeing that in a lot of manga.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Good.
Yeah, because that's good. That's I'm a big Superman fan, and one thing that I think is relatable is, he's all that power, but he chooses to live normal. Like that was all part of the Kents raising him and how he decides to live his life. Like he doesn't have to abide by any laws or anything. He could pretty much do whatever he wants, but he chooses to be as human as possible.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's this episode in Justice League where Superman, in the cartoon or the animated show, he goes like he's fighting Darkseid, and he goes like, I feel like I'm living in a world of cardboard where I'm not allowed to touch anything. But you, big man, you can take it. So
Yeah,
he
Hmm.
punches him like,
yeah, I
He
love that
unloads on
episode.
him.
That's
yeah,
what that
Yeah.
animated movie is Superman versus the Elite, and like the Elite are this cool group that like kills the bad guys and this and that, and everybody starts
yeah,
falling in love with them, and they're like, Superman's boring. He's just a goody
at
two
the end,
shoes, and
he
he doesn't
fucks
want to
them
hurt
up.
anybody, and
Right.
it's such a great like that story from the comic. It's Action Comics 775. What's so funny about truth, justice, and the American way? It's such a great story that
Hmm.
explains
I,
like
I I
why
love it.
Superman. Yeah.
Exactly. At the end, you just see like this dude is just holding back every time.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I remember that. That's a good one. Yeah, but yeah, two guys. To get into more
Wow.
pictures, yeah, this looks amazing.
That's beautiful.
I like aspects of it except the pose. I I feel like I want to see her flying.
Oh, like jumping up or something, or
Yeah, I
floating.
don't know. I just that's such a crucial part of her abilities. I don't. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird, but and then the pose is also kind of it's odd in a way the way it's sculpted, but like it's pretty. I like the masked portrait.
Nice.
Yep.
I like it.
I love how this guy got it in his or yeah, his name is Alex. He has it in the
Hmm.
island in his kitchen. He's like, everyone stand back, like I'm
Just
gonna.
just
Probably
leave
because
this here for a day or two. The wife won't notice. We'll eventually blend in. Very nice. Nice portrait.
This one's a custom one. I felt like I wanted to bring this up because it's like, it reminds me of Super Shredder from the Ninja Turtles movies.
Hmm.
Just supersized, but it
Like
looks
is
pretty
that
cool.
Thanos standing up?
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. Yeah. He's a little. Yeah. He's roided a little bit.
I'm not liking this. The sculpted cape. Yeah, I like that portrait. This makes it a lot better than the other one. But that
Over,
sculpted cape, man, it could be improved.
I just say he's overly thick for the character.
I
Yeah.
love
Yeah,
how they brought this.
there's
What's it?
yeah,
And
Cerebro.
Cerebro. Yeah.
There's some like Magneto iterations where he's like, he's roided out, but I usually don't prefer him to look like this.
Hmm.
Yeah. Another thing that's bugging me is the pouches are too close to each other on the belt. There should be more space in between them, and they're really long.
Yeah, they are pretty cool.
I like the magnet effect that it's in his hand. I think that
Those
looks
are
really cool.
those are ammo pouches. What is Magneto packing? 9 millimeter?
And they put pouches on every superhero back then, man. Like
That's
it
that's
doesn't
extreme
matter.
from the
It was
90s.
Yeah, I remember the Jim Lee, but he's got ammo pouches.
Yeah,
Anyway,
but
Look at Cable.
that's how
yeah.
you that's
Well,
how
at least
you
he
like
carries guns.
exactly. It was a nice way to add detail without thinking about it.
Yeah.
But like even then, mess with the spacing so it's not
Oh,
so even all around. This is
that
the
looks
storm.
nice.
It does look nice. How will it look when you get it in hand? That's the question everyone should ask.
How will she look on wedding night when the lights go off? Yeah, who knows?
Oh man.
This
uh,
looks beautiful.
weather forecast is salty.
Uh-huh.
Oh man.
That is nice.
So they made a white one too.
Did the black suit come with that? Oh no, that's. I thought it was
You
a different hairstyle. Was there like a third
Switch
hairstyle?
outs.
no,
Yeah.
it's two hairstyles. So
Wait, that
mohawk
one
and yeah, there's just two
in the white.
hairstyles. Yeah.
I swear that was different than.
Yeah.
The
Oh, hold on.
headpiece is a different color. The
Okay,
headpiece is white on.
so that's the one with the headpiece, but it's just white instead of
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
black.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
God, from that side view, it looked like a different, like a hairdo
Mm-hmm.
or something.
Yeah, because the wisps coming down the side.
I wish there was shading in the hair, but like something subtle, maybe like a bluish gray,
She
I
looks
was
and
never a
great.
fan of the mohawk
even
suit.
on the suit. But this looks pretty clean. This looks awesome. But again, I wish there was shading because I feel like when the thing that's making this stand up to scrutiny is that the portraits are painted very well. The factories will not be painted well, and the outfit. I don't know if they'll try to add their own shading on their own, but I think I don't know. I don't have faith in the factory producing this well, but we'll see. I hope I'm wrong for the people that are buying it.
This is our boy Bucks.
Yeah, I just got this in on Friday. Freaking gorgeous.
Those eyes.
Yep. I remember I gave them a picture of Emma Stone on the red carpet, and like
Okay.
they copied her makeup and like the eye makeup, and I didn't tell them to do it, but they made her eyes the same color, and
Mm-hmm.
they look amazing, man. It's a beautiful piece.
Yeah.
Never gonna sell this.
Yeah, those eyes really pop.
Yep. Yeah, like the subtle like makeup, and then it's
Mm-hmm.
like just very slight sheen
Mm-hmm.
for the skin, right? It's like a satin sheen, and I really like it. I like the whole finish to this.
Yeah.
Very beautiful. I like the way they've done the hair, like the paint on it as well. It's not realistic in terms of hair color. I mean, hair with product in it should have some sheen in it, but this looks like almost metallic. But I still like it. I like the way it looks.
Mm-hmm.
It just works for me.
Hey, hey Buck. This looks so good that I almost thought these were glass eyes. To be honest.
They
Yes,
really
right.
look.
And
Yeah.
that blows your mind. You see, like this, it's the kind of quality you can get if you're willing to pay $500.
Yeah, I mean the eyes have catch lights in them. You know the reflective catch light.
Yeah,
You got pupils catch lights.
yeah. So it's beautiful, and it's because they use the kind of gloss they use. I don't know if they'll do this themselves. The people I sent this to, but like I know some other people in this community that paint this well. What they use to gloss the eyes, they don't use like normal product that you get from other companies. They use floor polish
Future
yeah,
future
they use
floor
the
polish.
future floor polish. Yeah,
Yep.
Pudgy knows. But like now they're no longer doing calling it future, just pledge now.
Yeah.
So they
Same
rebranded,
stuff,
and
different cup. They
a bunch of people
rebranded.
were like pissed off, man. And so like they bought a bunch and they stocked
Yes.
up for the future. But yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, man. Thanks for
I'm just
sharing
in
this
love with
one.
this. Yeah,
Looks beautiful.
thank you.
I don't know about these hands, but you know
Those
All
hands,
you,
those hands are out of scale.
all you got to do is believe, guys. I had my doubters, but like I'm happy. I found like a good painter, and I gave them my money, and for all I know, I could have sent them this piece, and they would have just kept the head for God knows how
Mm,
long, and
mm,
they wouldn't. There's some
came
painters
through.
that are really shitty with communication, right?
Hmm.
These people were perfect. From the very beginning, moment it arrived with them, they told me you're gonna get it early, like late April or early May.
Hmm.
I go, what day is
And
it?
they
I got it exactly when I was promised, and it's a perfect job. So
Beautiful.
all that with the amazing paint job, the way they packaged it, the packaging was amazing. They packaged it better than me, and it's my piece. And I tried to make sure it was packaged very well. This came in like to me like packaged better than I sent it to them. They put a
Yeah.
lot of care into it, and so like I was very like throughout the whole process, I got to see where my money was going. Right? I got to see, oh, look at how much they're taking care of this. They got back to me on time when I would message them, usually within 24 hours or less. I would hear back, and they sent it when they promised they will send it, and just amazing all around. And the good thing, I don't have to worry about like this going to a commissioner. Like, sorry, like the with other painters that are popular, if a commissioner sends them a piece to paint a prototype, they'll prioritize that over your piece. That's not going to happen with me, yeah, with this people. So like, I'm very, very satisfied. I'm happy, and I will definitely be sending more to them in the future. I am more than willing to pay the price.
I I just got a pop up that says Kyle Rayner still in your cart.
Yo, they keep sending me those too, man.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Oh, thanks, Buck.
Yes, that's great.
yeah.
Oh,
Here,
Charles.
With
yeah, someone got to share a picture. Charles, yeah, and
Yeah.
that's
it's
the thing
cool.
on throne.
It's Thanos on throne, yeah, and he got to
Yeah.
sign it. I was
Yeah.
like, what? That's cool.
Should invite
That's a
Charles
big
to these
piece.
streams.
That's a big piece to carry around the con.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, he's done that many. I'm a Facebook friend of his since the Bowen days. We just interact a little bit about statues. I don't know if he ever comes on these streams. I don't even. I should send him a message.
I think I've seen him on DCX maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I've followed him over the years, and yeah, he goes to New York Comic Con, and he always has a story to tell about bringing some big ass base for somebody to sign.
That's cool. Collector Zone sent me, or he posted these pictures. We're gonna have a statue headquarters pretty soon.
Really?
Yeah, he's
For Collector Zone?
Collector Zone, yeah.
Damn, business is good.
Yeah. So
Yep.
congratulations, and
Congrats.
yeah, we're all gonna
Indeed.
be there, so it's gonna be really, really cool.
Whoa, business is really good. What the hell?
I thought this was like Apple headquarters, man.
Oh
Yeah.
man, it's not. You're not even buying like a place. They're like building that shit. Yeah, this is awesome. Really big ups to them. Big ups to Marco.
Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah, congrats.
This is like another custom, but I thought this was pretty cool. Like this picture right here. I know like it's kind of weird Venom, but I love the texture and the paint. So
Hmm. Yeah,
looks really,
texture
really
and
cool.
paint on this Venom is fantastic, but I don't like the like sculpt. But like
The
the
sculpt's kind of weird.
the paint, like it has the shimmery blue like highlight that you get,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
it's like it's beautiful. It's similar to the Prime One Dark Origins Venom, but I might even prefer the way the paint looks on this more. It's kind of like purplish, dark purplish black with like highlights of like blue or like purple on the surface. It's really sick. It's like I like the paint on both pieces, but I don't like the sculpts. But it like the paint elevates both so much.
Oh, here we go.
So
This next one.
yeah, I actually really like. So this is a old school, not old school, but it's a little bit older. Supergirl from Sideshow, and this guy paired it up with a new. What's her name again?
Power
Power
Girl.
Girl. She
Power Girl.
is
Yeah.
the
Girl.
she is what's her name? Kara from alternate like Earth 2. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, they pair up nicely though. I thought.
Secret Sanctuary's video. Boy, some nice photography, and this piece doesn't fit into my collection in scale or subject. because I'm doing DC 1/6. But man, the portrait on this, especially the exclusive, it's like, oh, I need to add that. I need to get that. It should be a one up, but yeah, it's gorgeous, gorgeous piece.
Yeah. I never even thought about this, but they're cousins, right? So it's really cool. BT showed this off today on his YouTube, and man, I'm so glad he posted pictures. This looks amazing to me.
The paint looks awesome, but this is the proto, right?
Yeah, he said he had the proto.
Okay. Again, although okay, I know what group this is, and they like that Superman they released recently. The paint was immaculate, so I have faith. I have faith they can do it. This with the renders, it looked kind of wonky. It looks way better, like you know, actually printed and painted. The face looks better. Like she still kind of looks like she had a weird nose job, but like
Your nose job.
yeah. It's like a bunch of the issues I was having. They're not as glaring now with the cape, with the face. It's like been mostly fixed, and then the curve of the hip. There's something that was kind of off. There's like just like the colors and the lighting right now are just working to make a bunch of the stuff I didn't like before work, and the paint looks really good. So that's a big deal. I think anyone who ordered off the based off the renders will be very pleased to see this. The hair is fantastically painted, and so yeah, this big ups to anyone who's getting this. I hope the actual production looks as good.
Hey, Brenton, like looking at these customs, do any of the customs call out for you?
Uh, I don't think I would be brave enough to order a custom. I think that would be the what I have to say right now. Like, I think it looks good, but I don't think I would be able to take that step yet.
Smart guy right there.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, that's a wise choice. I think for most of them, you won't be happy with the
Yeah.
final.
Stay with the marijuana. Don't go to the harder drugs. There.
Yeah, customs are always a gamble.
Cash, what do you think of this one?
It's solid. I mean, it's definitely solid. I have the Scarlet Witch that I like better just due to the color combination, but this one's solid. I like the hair flowing. It's solid. I mean, it's the same group that's making that new Elektra that makes a bunch of like Motu stuff. So like it seems like a solid group overall. But yeah.
I really like it.
Do you like the hair down through the mask? Because it looks like that piece of hair. But it's kind of. I don't know how I feel about that.
Oh, that's true.
It might just be you don't like the design, but in terms of whether it makes sense, I think it makes sense enough. As much sense as like it's consistent in terms of logic to the rest of it. I feel.
Cool one. DT put it on his YouTube, so you can see the video on it. It looks really good. The next one was like an announcement from Tweeterhead, He-Man. I'll let you guys go first. What do you think, Cash?
Quarter scale in 1 year.
I'm not a Motu fan myself, but I like that they're doing all the a lot of the characters to give the fans a chance to be able to collect the whole line if that's what they desire, or individual characters that they like. So I like that aspect. Looks solid. Doesn't look like anything's wrong with it off the off the first look, but solid.
Pudgy, is this gonna join your collection?
No. No. I am aware of He-Man, but don't know the lore, so to speak. Makes for some great memes, though.
That's funny. Buck or Brenton, you guys like this one?
I like most of it except He-Man's face. But I kind of oddly enough really like the base, at least from what I can see in that. Like, 'cause it just matches the color of Castle Skull. And yeah, I wonder if there'll be a switch out for his head. If there is, and I like that better, that'd be cool. But I wouldn't buy it regardless.
Yeah.
You can't get everything. Even though I'm a fan of He-Man, I just
Brenton,
can't.
he's lying. You could get everything you want.
No, I think that's definitely like a not an option. Learn that quick. You can't buy everything. Yeah, I think that looks good. I'm just not much of a Masters of the Universe fan. I go back to like the movie with Dolph Lundgren. Like that's
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
The physique, man, crazy.
yeah. I tried watching that Netflix show. Not great.
Not good. Yeah.
It wasn't even about He-Man.
Yeah, I know.
Seems to be unanimous. Yeah, that's what I hear.
I wanted to bring this up for John. John, like, let us jump on his show last Friday. I have fun every Friday, even though it's like late, but I still have fun. Like, I
Great.
go to sleep good.
Yes.
When I go to sleep, I'm laughing or something.
I don't
But
think I've okay. Actually, I've actually been on one episode. Wait, have I ever been on Collectors Club
it's on
or maybe
Fridays.
Collecting Weekly?
Friday
I've
night.
been on one of
It's
John's shows.
hmm
I know I was there when Eddie was unboxing the Rancor
okay.
and the Mando.
Oh yeah.
I think that's on
Okay.
Monday. Yeah,
Yeah,
Monday
so
they
that's
unbox
probably a
them.
different one.
But Fridays at 11 p.m. Eastern, so
Yes.
it's pretty cool. Cash, you had your first episode of Nostalgic Evolution. I love
Triple.
when like it started off about aliens and everything. I was like, oh man, like
Yeah, I didn't know what I was gonna get, and then it kind of like went away from that. It then got it into other stuff, and there was like the Titanic.
Yeah,
Yeah. So the thing with this is the show is called Nostalgic Evolution. Just pretty much we're gonna be talking about anything nostalgic. Every episode, obviously, it'll be episode 1, episode 2. This one was just titled the introduction, but the title after the episode part, as well as the background, will always be the main thing of what we spoke about. So it's never going to be planned in terms of like this is the main topic. Like obviously we'll have bulletin points to go over, but like the thumbnail itself will be different each episode. So it's not an actual UFO podcast. It's
Okay.
just we just randomly started talking about UFOs, man.
hmm
see what
But
Skills Power asked about?
is there any horror episodes coming?
he's a huge horror fan, so it's definitely coming. And we actually might be talking about some Bigfoot pretty soon because something happened to where like somehow
Yeah,
Thor started talking about Bigfoot. So I guess that
yeah.
may happen. I don't know how.
I want to hear that. And you guys, before you do that, you need to do research to see what some crazy stuff some people say about
Oh,
Bigfoot.
that'll be all them. I don't know any Bigfoot stuff.
Oh man.
So Jojo says the Scarlet was Factory, not Proto. That's
Ooh.
crazy.
Okay, that's impressive. You know what? That group, the next step for them, their pain is on point. The next step is to get better sculptors. And
Uh,
yeah.
Cash, do you have a set day for these or?
Um, as of now, we're looking at every other Friday. So the next one would be what the Friday after. Um,
After next week.
yeah,
20th.
next week, the 20th. Yeah, appreciate that, Brenton. So that'll
Yeah.
be the next one, and yeah, man, they're all pre-recorded, but we'll be live in the chat, or maybe we'll go live and just do it because we were actually just trying to upload them, but the file got corrupted, so I couldn't just upload it. I had to like basically stream record it, stream the recorded episode. So, but I mean, either way, as long as it gets out there to the public, it's not so much about views. It's obviously just about having a good time, but we definitely want people to tune in as well. So if people wanted to keep going, we'll kind of take a look at the feedback and if we're enjoying it and stuff, and kind of evaluate it around that third episode and take it from there.
Cool, man. Keep it going, man.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
like that first episode. That was a lot of fun to watch.
appreciate it.
Yeah. Dude's name is Tone, right? Tone Caron?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think I saw him in the chat earlier.
Yeah, he was here for a little bit. So, Buck, just to let you know, they're thinking about doing this in 1/6 scale now.
Is Batman compensating here?
Like, so the crazy thing that I need to clarify just real quick. They can do this, and it's not enough of a bad thing for me to even consider not collecting XM pieces anymore. I just think it's scummy, and every time they do it, I'll say it's scummy. But like, I think for the most part, they're not going to be doing it much more because from now on, they're just going to announce 6 scale and quarter scale at the same time. I
Mhm.
think that's what
Yep.
they're going to be doing going forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, I don't think this is even going to be a problem going forward, and it's not bad enough that a company is going to release something that looks awesome. I think it's awesome. I want to buy it, and because they've done something like this, I won't buy the piece. No. So yeah.
Yeah, it looks incredible. People are starting to get it in hand, so hopefully more pictures next week.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like it'd be hard to display between the size of the bike and how the cape flows backwards.
Yeah.
It's 44 inches across.
Guys,
Jesus.
think about when this was announced.
That's
and
like an 8-year-old.
people are already getting it in hand. Like, yo,
Yeah.
they deserve it.
Yeah.
I've never heard COVID come out of someone from XM's mouth. Like,
Yeah.
they did not. They're like on point with the production schedules, man. Fantastic.
I brought this one up because Spawn is one of my favorite characters, and I didn't know there was all these statues for Spawn. It's crazy.
That's
Yeah.
custom on the left, and then that bust also seems to be part of the custom.
Yeah.
But the other pieces, are they licensed?
I think they're custom. I don't think what's his name gives I don't think there's a licensed Spawn, to be honest. Not that I know of.
No.
But like, I mean, wouldn't Todd just
Or-
make his?
Yeah,
Just
Todd
make-
would definitely be involved in this. It would come out of.
Yeah,
But yeah. But the only ones I've seen from Todd is like the really smaller ones.
okay. I feel like they're getting into bigger pieces because on ArtStation in the jobs section, like a couple months ago, I saw them like they were hiring artists, and they were asking about artists for statues, bigger ones versus toys. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think I have two that were done maybe by Todd where they're like a vinyl or something. They're pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, this is really cool. So I used to have this sideshow, Poison Ivy, and this person, Martin, he customized it. He added some stuff to the side, all around it. Have you guys seen this one?
Yeah, I saw it on Facebook.
Yeah. I've seen it on Facebook.
I don't know how I feel about it.
It's a
But
nice
I think-
touch.
I think
compared
it's
to,
very cool. Like the extent he went to customize this piece, it's freaking awesome that you go that far. And like, I just think like in a way it might be too busy now, whereas before the like focus was very clearly on her with all these like fake plants and stuff. I think
this is
they
a
might
little
be
bit too much.
yeah,
Yeah. Mm.
and like they're not to scale, so it's just odd. But like, I do think like when people go this far to like to tweak a piece so it fits their tastes,
Hmm.
like like they love that thing and
Yeah.
that it's for them, you know. So I like seeing that.
It's nice.
The branches are coming out of her hand. I like that.
Just bring in the wood.
Dun-dun-tsh.
Brendan's back.
Yes.
Magic collection this days, bruh.
The space.
This is so sad and true.
God, yeah.
It's true though.
Yeah, I got too much in boxes right now.
Would-
And,
Would you say that guy's a little overscale? I'd say he's a little.
Is that
I see some.
1/3?
I see some problems in this sculpt right here.
And
This one says my biggest obstacle is that I only like salads when they're made by other people and cost $16.
Yeah, yeah.
I love that one. Breaking news at 11: Snoop Sidious joins the dark side. This
Oh,
one got me
shit.
laughing today. Kevin Smith thinks a Batman Beyond movie with Michael Keaton would make $1 billion.
you know what? Yeah, billion. I don't know about how much it'll make. I think it could be cool,
It'd be
but
nice,
like
yeah.
so much of it would need a really high budget, and for them to take extra care to really make the sci-fi setting look right. And I don't want like a director that like has, man. It would need to be a good director, you know, to really get that nice sci-fi
Futuristic.
aesthetic, that futuristic aesthetic. Even like because Batman Beyond had like sort of a cyberpunk aesthetic
Yeah.
with like all those, mostly with the other characters, the weird like the
It's like
makeup
Joker.
and like the way they were dressed. But
Batman
like,
meets Blade Runner.
mm-hmm,
You know,
yep, yep. I kind of want to see that, but it has to be handled with care. So
I feel
DC
like WB would
multiverse.
screw it up.
yeah, I don't have faith in them, but at the same time, they made the Batman, they made the Joker,
They
and those
did.
are awesome. Just I have no faith in anything that has to do with Snyderverse. Anything that has like tangentially related to that, it's a failure in my eyes.
Ooh, what's this?
So I know these are all hot
These
toys,
are all
but
hot toys.
I really like
That's
this
so cool.
this scene that like, they're looking through
Yeah.
comics and like
This person needs to do a breakdown of how they made those miniature comics. But like the bagged and boarded too, man. It's insane.
yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Who's again the
Oh,
purple
There's my
shit?
man.
Nice.
Yeah, that was the first time I met him. Yeah,
I used to have that Hulk
you can
shirt.
you can see I was quite happy. He made me laugh. He was a
Oh,
nice
shit.
guy.
That's
Yeah.
Pudgy. I didn't realize.
That's me. Yeah,
Oh man, that's
yeah,
crazy. So,
yeah. Yeah, he was a gentleman.
Pudgy practiced that handshake the whole night before.
I know, right?
Confirm, 3
I-
seconds,
No,
release.
to be I still hemmed and hawed about it until my friend was like, "Come on, you got to go." He said, "There's a line. My wife's holding place in the line." Okay. So I went, and it was his wife that took the photo. Yeah, so
dude,
that was totally.
I used to have the same T-shirt as your friend. The
Yeah,
Hulk.
I haven't seen that in a while.
Pudgy's never washed that hand since.
Yeah,
Wow.
Oh man.
I asked my mom. I said, "You didn't happen to ever meet George before, have you?" Because
Oh,
I was like,
God.
I'm starting to see like a likeness.
Oh no.
I was like, you didn't hang out in Manhattan back around 19 something, did you?
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh, happy Father's Day.
Yeah. Uh,
It's funny. So Walton says the fanny pack distracted you, didn't it? But
no, that's not a fanny pack. That's holding my camera. That's my DSLR in there.
I don't know, Pudgy. It looks
Fanny.
like a fanny pack.
I had a fanny pack, but I had a fanny pack when everybody else had fanny packs.
Lord.
Oh,
What are you
yeah.
talking
They're
about?
back again, bro. So you could always pull out. your
Yeah, I
fanny
did
pack.
see that. Lady Death, Brian Padillo. Yeah.
Fine,
I noticed it. I was like, wow, there's a lot going on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was I want to say maybe 2014. I think 2014.
That's really
Always
cool.
wearing interesting shirts, like comic.
Oh yeah, always.
Little super graphic comic shirts.
That's
Love
his
those
trademark.
That
Yeah.
Hawaiian style.
Oh man,
Razor.
this
The
beauty.
Razor.
Our guy Razor put these up, and it's it's beautiful.
I love that venom from the fangs.
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
There's a better picture coming up, but yeah, everything like 360. It's beautiful. There's the fangs right there, right there.
Wow, that is something.
That's actually exactly how I do it myself.
I hope
Whoa, I'm gonna leave that alone.
the snake just wants some kitty.
Monty
Look at that!
Python.
Wow.
So I have an Xbox, and the Xbox is pretty big, and this is
Yeah.
like I don't know
Hey,
how tall it is. What's it?
Two
get
and a
that
half
cheap thing away
Xboxes.
from this statue, right? Get that
This
cheap
cheap
thing away from this statue.
Mm.
I just want-
That shit costs the same as a sideshow statue. Oh, piece of shit.
Yeah. Exactly right.
Oh my god.
J&D baby. See, with light, it's a whole different statue. It looks way better
Yeah.
with light on.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Look at the
I
scales.
like how they even
man.
did like in that previous picture that you just had, like around her hips there, how the skin is kind of folding, and they sculpted that
Yep.
in.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I never noticed that till now. That's a great eye.
You call that squash and stretch. So you squash on one side and you stretch the other.
Yeah.
But like, did you guys see the color on the scales? Like it
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
comes out when the light is on it. It's insane.
The only thing I don't like about this piece is the hair. It looks
Yep.
helmety on the front. It's weird. The like one piece coming off the side on
That's because it's a separate piece, Buck.
no, it's like it looks. Yeah, yeah. I see what you're saying.
No, it's
It's
a
like
separate piece.
it comes up on. Yeah, it looks weird to me. I think they could have done that a little bit better in terms of the flow of the hair. Otherwise, it
Super
looks fantastic.
Man,
Still
I
an
love
awesome
the
piece.
texture. Yeah,
Yeah,
texture
like
of her
the
skin.
translucent
great.
resin with the that's Prime One's paint style for skin, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, and it really works, especially when they're not trying to do like an exact likeness of a character and it's more comic-y or like more stylized. I really like it. I feel like it starts to it doesn't look as realistic when they're trying to do a real person because they start to look like waxy and see-through. But on this and like on my Berserk statue, it's really awesome. That skin effect.
But congrats, Ramon. This guy
Yeah.
keeps getting a piece every day. So
Yeah, man. Like Ramon, infinite funds. Like
Nah, he's just on a streak. I think don't we all hit that sometimes? Sometimes like you end up the
Yeah.
timing is all of a sudden
Or, like-
bam, bam, bam.
Yep, I know what you're saying.
You know?
I wish it was like that. I've been waiting for a bunch of statues and like they're just not coming.
Yeah.
So this guy got Brenton. Don't you got this one?
Yep, that's the one I got.
The Batmobile,
So-
the Lego.
Ah, look at that.
That it's great. I love that thing.
So I love that he put it right there. Like, but he has this in the background. I was like, come on, man, show that off.
I actually
But
think
more-
that statue is very ugly.
What? I like it,
Yeah,
but this is cool too.
Look at that. It's wild. Awesome.
Oh yeah. Anytime I
Yes.
see
Oh,
this
wow.
Prime, I gotta put it
insane,
up.
dog.
When are you getting this casual? Because this
I-
this always seems to end up in your folder.
If you open these gates, you're gonna get Legolas. You're gonna get Frodo. You're gonna get Gimli.
That's what I'm afraid of.
You're
Yeah.
gonna get
Oh goodness.
when
Every
they
time.
announce Gandalf, you're gonna get Gandalf. You're gonna get you're gonna get. Oh man, it's a whole ass line. The Witch King is coming. Damn, and they all look amazing. And
Every
they're
time
all
he adds
like,
it to cart, it just gets you shot and all pass.
Dude.
So that's why I never make it to check out.
Oh shit.
if I got this piece, I want to make sure that my room is always very dark, so I can turn on the lights on it. It's so amazing. Texture and the paint.
Even with like it not lit up, it looks good. Like a lot of pieces that do light up, you could see the paint's
Mhm.
not that great, but like here, like
Yeah.
The paint on the thing looks amazing.
But the way it just looks so like fire when it's like lit up.
Yeah, lit up in the dark. That looks. They
It's
did a
very
great job.
convincing. It's very convincing. And it's hard to get flames right. They don't always get flames right, but they got it right on this piece.
That looks awesome.
Yeah, awesome.
I'd be like, here's your new night light.
Yeah.
Or that's what I should tell her. I got my new night light right here.
Yeah.
But you guys, that was 84 pictures that we went through, and we're at 3 hours and 20 minutes, even though it doesn't feel like it.
Even the best teams go into overtime.
I feel like we should get paid for all this, but soon enough, right?
Soon enough. You'll get monetized, don't worry.
Oh, shit.
You gotta keep
But,
grinding.
Yeah, taking my time,
Hmm.
But one more time, happy Mother's Day weekend. You guys better all say happy, but reach out to your moms or significant others, like let them know they're doing a great, everything, and just do it, man.
What?
You have a grudge against them or something, like let it go tonight, tomorrow.
You hear that, Brenton? Let it go.
I don't,
Yeah.
I don't have a grudge at all. No,
Breathe in,
grudges
breathe
here.
out.
Let the hate flow through you.
But yeah, man, like I want to say thank you to all you guys. I know it's late. Do you guys have any last things to bring up?
Yeah, I just want to correct something. We were on last week on Casual Nerd Problems, last Tuesday, and HStats was on there, and there's a picture of a Rancor that was brought up. Some really cool improvements were done to the base, and I don't know if it was like miscommunication in terms of like the smaller version that Eddie had being matte black on the actual base, to where the answer was given as a yes, versus the bigger scale one having all the trims and bells and whistles on the sand base. So the answer was actually said yes to the artist matte black, but the artist who actually did all the work on that, as me and Casual already know from the interview, was Amilcar Fong. Matt Black was credited for it, but his work was actually rejected by Sideshow. So I just wanted to correct that there on what was maybe miscommunicated between HStats, because I think John was answering to hearing the word matte black. That's the artist's names, but the color of the one you have is actually matte black. So that I just want to clear that miscommunication up.
That could be easily, yeah. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool, man. Now I'm gonna have to look it up. So no, but Cash, like, yeah, man, thanks for stopping by. I'm loving the hat, man. I forgot to mention that, like Dragon Ball
Always,
Z hat.
man. Dragon Ball Z, baby. Dragon Ball. Hey, that's right, Buck. That's right.
But thanks, man. Pudgy, you got
Sure.
anything?
No, nothing, sir. Just look for me in the aisle of your local Home Depot. Other than that, I have been putting some of my photos. I did an Instagram just for my comic book photos. So look for Pudgy's Polystone Pics, I believe I named it. And you'll see some, little by little, I'll put up little pics of my collection.
Is it PUDGY apostrophe S, or is it?
I don't think it's an apostrophe.
Or do you want to write it in the comments so everyone can check it out?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, Pudgy is our photographer, so definitely give him.
Yeah, no apostrophe. Pudgy's Polystone Pics with the lowercase hyphen underneath, in between the words.
Okay.
And real quick, I actually have a picture that I'll share for Tuesday's show, kind of based off of what I always see in Pudgy do. So congrats to Pudgy, and then real quick, congrats to your Rogue. I know it took you a while.
Yeah, that's right.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Congrats
Yeah,
on that one.
It's a gem. Like, you guys see it in person, but we'll talk about it Tuesday. Brenton, I know we enabled you for a couple, but are you willing to come back for a couple more shows, or are you like, is your
Yeah.
wallet saying get out of here, or?
No, I appreciate the invite. You know, it always means a lot to me, and you know, I'll answer any invites that you send out. If you want me here, I'll show up if I can.
Brenton,
Okay.
Brenton's comic book knowledge is quite vast and fills many gaps that I have as well.
Oh, definitely.
Love having
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just really fast with Google.
No, no, no.
I feel like
Uh-uh.
some of the knowledge, it's not gonna show up on Google right away. I mean,
Yeah, no,
Oh
no.
no,
It's
no.
beyond Google.
But thanks, Brenton. Buck, what's up, man?
I'm just happy to have gotten in my Black Canary. I'm still buzzing from that. So next thing, I either get the dragon or I get my Dragon Ball Z piece from. Oh, what's up, Mark? I either get like my Dragon Ball Z Goku from Spec. I'm hoping. I heard someone say it's shipping this month. Fingers crossed. Please, please. And there's that. The dragon, Goku. There's another Dragon Ball Z piece, a custom that I have. It's already been shipped, but so I'm just waiting for it to get like to the docks stateside. Get my UPS, the tracking to update. And I got Prime One Red Death. It hasn't shipped yet.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be cool.
Unfortunately, it hasn't shipped yet, so it's not coming anytime soon. Hopefully, they ship it soon. And yeah, like so far, there's a few other pieces. Maybe from Sume, I have like the Dragon Ball Z diorama where it's Goku versus Vegeta, and I have
Nice.
HMO Felicia, and the production on that is looking fan fucking tastic, and I am very very excited to see that. So we'll see. I got a bunch of pieces coming in this summer, if I'm lucky, and none of them get delayed because
You
there's
guys
always
remember in the very beginning of the show, Buck mentioned he was unemployed.
Yes. By the way, yes.
Yeah.
Oh
Yes.
man, yeah, we're looking for as long as I get a job soon, I can fund more bad financial decisions. For now,
Looking for
like,
a
I feel like I'm tapped out. I'm tapped out.
yeah.
There's no more tapping to be done.
Your veins collapsing over here. You got to look for another one. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Nah, Buck, but thanks for always joining too, and your opinions, man. It's all passion, it's discussion. So anyone that
Thank
takes
you.
it wrong, like,
Hey,
get
that's it.
out of
Fine,
here.
man. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. I don't mind disagreements. I think it's fine. Take it
Oh,
in
like
stride.
exactly what Mark says. Join the retirement squad, but
Oh man, Mark, I can never retire. This is an addiction, and I'm more than happy to be addicted.
Shut up and take my money.
That's right.
It's not how AA goes, Buck.
Yeah.
More than happy to be addicted.
I'm making this my career, dude.
My name is Buck, and I'm addicted to Polystone. Good old Buck.
I'm currently working on a Spider-Man statue. I'll show you guys after we're not live.
But let me let go of the panel. Let me say bye to the chat really quick. But again, like, thanks everyone for joining, and we'll see you Tuesday. Yeah. Have a great night, you guys.
Take care, everybody.
Everyone.
Thank
See
you.
everybody.